Hey, Angel. We are going to get rolling here in just a second. One down.
Oh,
Well,
throwing up
here
her
we
face.
are.
Throwing up
Oh.
our faces. What is this madness?
I'm gonna put my hat on.
Hello, friends. It is time to blast off again with not quite Team Rocket. We are here aboard.
we're actually Team Rocket. You can't see it because of the way our cameras are framed, but we're all doing really high kicks right now.
I mean,
It's not supposed to say just chatting. Thank you, Angel. I will fix that because I am a good boy. But yeah.
I don't know. I think that's going to be pretty indicative of the level of activity I plan on putting into this game. I want to spend at least the first hour on pre-flight checklist items, and then we can go from there.
Respect.
Amazing. So you all find yourselves on orbital platform 1 above Chalcedon, a planet utterly ravaged by nuclear annihilation. Tell me, this whatever the fuck Max named it, Series station. What do you think you're doing here? Are you just a passerby? Have you heard the call for someone who can help in this trying time, or are you perhaps stationed here more long term?
I'm correcting the voice of God on how to pronounce nuclear.
Nuclear? Nuclear?
Now what we got here is some nuclear annihilation.
Nuclear?
So yeah, my character, he heard they needed someone to do a they're not too concerned about pronouns. Them heard about
them heard about some trouble around these parts.
What?
Them heard about some trouble around these parts.
I heard about some need for a person who can pilot this old model of human dropship through dangerous radioactive windstorms onto a planet in need of help. And I'm a good old Rastian synth that definitely is good at piloting and has no previous experience of this ship at all.
Just imagine a red light flashing behind the visor that goes wink.
Yep. Also, I don't know. Now I like the idea that maybe some synths only use objective case pronouns to remind people that they used to be considered objects and make them uncomfortable.
I like that idea so much I'm going to do it.
Indeed.
Now, quick question. What's an objective case pronoun?
Like the use of them as opposed to they.
Got you.
So beep boop.
Object rather than a subject.
So beep boop, you've come out here because you are especially, skilled. You've been labeled a RAST production of an older model Archangel unit, and some might even consider you their saving angel, but nobody says that because you're totally a RAST synth. Wink. And
Indeed.
Meanwhile,
my family is from Argentina.
Wink. Stubborn giant. Why do you find yourself here with such fine spectacles and such a curated moustache?
Well, you see, I'm here to make. First, as a former Marine/medic, I'm just looking for a good way to make some luxury credits and, go on a grand adventure. I like to have adventures.
Indeed, and you are being offered a significant amount of extra, lux for this because it is a risky, hazardous volunteer task.
With cosmetic glasses and a fake mustache because Veer don't do facial hair that way. Who sounds like Urkel.
That is just. You see, I've been on so many missions that these happen to be the items that I've picked up over my time being a Marine. This is purely for clout.
Oh my god!
So did you cut that
actually
mustache
shaved
off
that
a person's
mustache
dead
off
body?
of an enemy and you
Yeah.
preserved it?
It's funny that you ask. I actually found these in a box.
I looted a crate. I found a cosmetic item. Now I'm just gambling.
A booty box, as they say.
Hey,
Wait, I mean loot crate.
Are you
That's
using
what
that
I
term
meant.
to refer to my
Yes.
rear storage unit?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Are you referring to my rear storage unit?
No, but I do think I did store some of the medical supplies in there. I appreciate the help.
Wow. Just like organics. Not going to ask for robot consent.
Problematic. Hey, Pat.
But I thought I did. I said, can I put this junk in that trunk? And you
I
said,
have no
what does
recollection
that
of
mean?
this conversation.
And then
My
I
memory
showed
banks are 99.9999999% accurate at recalling conversations in the last month.
Amazing. Jin. Frobisher or Frobisher?
Frobisher.
Frobisher.
I want to make a cocktail called the Gin Frobisher. I'm not sure what it would be, but it'll be something with like sherbet, and gin.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jim Frobisher. I am, a mechanic, jack of a couple of trades, who have probably been here for at least a couple of months on the station. I move around a lot doing engineering in places where they need engineers but have a high turnover. I also leave, though, because, it stops being interesting. But, I like weird, quirky, horribly mutilated and straggling planets.
Well, you found
Even better, probably.
Yeah. Well, Chalcedon has certainly provided that. And now it's time to volunteer for the wackiest of missions imaginable. Wenmar Grail. What brings you here?
Wenmar sort of travels the frontier looking for dangerous and hostile environments just to live in and practice and help the people who are living there live in. And so she came here to help out, and she's just arrived and heard of this emergency, and so she's volunteered to help to drop the stuff off for free.
Oh my. Ever the giving sort. They're not going to turn down some free help. You all find yourself at the terminal. You can smell...
Wait, we're helping for free? Oh, no.
Wenmar.
I'm gonna pretend I just found this out. Oh, I should have read the contract a little closer.
So, you find yourselves in the terminal. Nearby, from the food court, you can smell this wafting, plasticky cheese coming from the Sparrows. Sparrows actually continues.
Better food.
Sparrows continues in space, and actually, one of the only polar facilities remaining on Chalcedon that still outputs is their prefabricated cheesery, and it's what makes up not just the Sparrows here, but also the garlic sticks and a variety of other cheese-based delicacies.
Totally like a human empire restaurant, wasn't it? Like, this colony brought to you by Sbarros.
Indeed.
But think of the cheese sticks.
The mood is dire, and all eyes are upon you, as rumor has spread like wildfire throughout the station that a daring quad of 4 are going to take the old XL Raptor dropship down to the surface with much-needed medical supplies. You will report to the control room for your final orders before descending.
Consider it up to count it as 4.
You are right, Andrea. The payment is exposure to the hazards of the universe.
And I'm like, speaking of hazards, do you think we should stop by the Sbarros before we go to our final check-in?
If any of you are interested in stopping by the Sbarros, I would like to observe.
Hazard of the universe in the past. I do not need to do so again.
I do not understand the at times illogical acts of organics. Eating Sbarros would certainly qualify.
Are Sbarros like super duper popular?
In space, they
Yes.
They're not.
One of the corporations on the council in the Human Empire was Sbarros.
They're one of those. There's one of those.
Minriacor next to the Sbarros representative.
Fendercore was here. Sbarros was here. I look
Oh
for,
my
you,
goodness.
you can build sure,
all
robot
they've-
dogs, whatever the fuck, who cares? You ain't got an empire next, you got cheap, greasy, shitty pizza.
So, Sparrow's influence has waned since the falling of the human empire, but due to a strong space-bound, union, and also the fact that, mysteriously, the pre-made cheese and cheese accessories that were part of the Sparrow's main buffet offering were so well-suited to space deployment that they cling on as a space-bound franchise under the Trinity, sort of as a, here's Space Barrows.
Well, I mean, it's literally cheaper for us to give you medical care in 50 years than it is to provide you with better food consistently.
Well, heck yeah, let's get some Sbarros.
Yeah, but you notice they have a vegan option. Let it not be said that the Trinity has not brought peace.
I imagine the vegan option for Space Sbarros is just the normal pizza. I can't imagine there's any actual animal products going into that.
Mysteriously, you could give me a scrutiny to try and see the difference.
I will give you a scrutiny. I will look very closely. I will to try to figure out
Enhance.
is there any animal involved in any part of this process,
There's a lot of work going into our food.
excluding
right
the
now.
underpaid person who's probably putting it all together.
Yeah, really.
I don't know shit.
Really, way to pick on
It's a
the
Trinity
the
space
lazy.
station. They're probably compensate. Well, I can't say adequately because this job is soul killing, but better than someone would be today.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting down, there's nobody gives a fuck about it. There's not really a manager. They're kind of like, yeah, we'll get you the pizza.
Sitting down watching the periscopic stins from this Rastian Sims look at the pizza.
Futurama.
You know,
so
they're
this one.
sitting there on their phone. I'm just looking at the pizza, and then a little telescopic eye comes out, and zooms into it's 1 centimeter away from the cheese. And I'm like,
Insufficient data. indeed.
inconclusive.
Yeah, so the person behind the counter, they look up and you're like, oh, hey, you want some pizza?
I apologize. I do not have the necessary attachments to consume pizza.
I'm like, oh, that's okay.
Thank
So
you.
One
wait, where are
time,
we
I got
standing
pizza
now?
and just shoved it into my face to see if that would feel good.
Thank you.
It just was a long time cleaning.
She's
That
like,
did not feel good.
wow, that's crazy.
Of
And
course.
Jin looks like, I think we've got programs that simulate taste.
Yes, it is called taste surfing.
All right, okay,
These
let's
Sims will
get
go on to
going. We can have
tasting it.
Sbarros after we win, just in case
She's
of,
like- she's like,
anything that might compromise the mission.
She's like, but wait, what if you get hungry on the way down and your tummy rumbles? Here, take some breadsticks. And she's like, yeah, no, don't worry, I'll cover it. She swipes her
At
own
last,
card for
breadsticks.
all one of the meal coupon that a cup of Sparrow's cheesy sticks are worth here.
I imagine
proffers it.
breadsticks. I like to imagine breadsticks are just perfect for beer because it would fit in their narrow mouth.
Yeah, no, these things
They
are.
just slurp them like noodles.
Yeah, they could just slurp it up like noodles.
when the show trials
Damn it.
happened, right? The Veer held up and and this is the Sparrow's cheesy bread engineer, and everybody was like, spare them. Everybody else had a bad day. Everybody else had a bad day. at the
Which
show
was
trial.
honestly probably a bad judicial call, because if I recall correctly, they also engineered some prison camps to make the cheese. So maybe it wasn't the best call.
They got Operation Paperclip. They lived the rest of their life with an ankle
the
monitor.
weird prison camps brought to you by Sbarros.
Good things must be brought with sacrifices.
Oh, yes, indeed. So do you take the cheesy bread? That's what I need to know here. Does anybody take the pro-offered cup of cheesy bread?
Yeah, I'll take the cheesy bread. I'm like, thank you for your help. Okay, so, and then, once we're out of here, I'm like, okay, guys, we need to save this so that we can, throw it at an enemy in a comical way.
Oh, I've
You
already
seem
eaten
presumptive as there to be enemies. Is there something I should know about?
There are several people milling about the terminal. They kind of look at you. Someone's like, oh my gosh, enemy.
Hello.
And I'm like, I look looking at you, and I'm like, aren't you, shouldn't you be paranoid? There's always the potential for enemies. The storm, if nothing else, and like by
I
this
like
point,
the
beer's
idea of like,
5 breadsticks. I'm just holding it up, gesturing, and the beer's like sucking them down. And I can't see it.
I like the idea of just the robot. Like everybody's like staring at the robot, and there's just this giant beer like behind them all, just slurping on some breadsticks.
I should have done a photo edit for this earlier, but I really wish I made it so my robot was wearing a really big bicorn with like the really extensive feathering and all that. Just to be like, he's a pilot. He's got to.
All right, let's go have that briefing.
All right, yeah, you walk in, and all of a sudden, like the lighting changes a bit more blue, and the soundtrack just like swells and becomes like infinitely more severe.
Which is good because I think infinitely more severe than the nothing that was playing earlier would be anything.
Wait, no, it was a track.
I handed the breadsticks to the Veer so I look more formal. Trying to brush off the Sabaro's grease.
Literally, you know that the person briefing us is also a Veer, and the greatest compliment you can pay in Veer culture is to arrive with proffered breadsticks.
This is accurate.
This is going to the Veer. This is the expanded Veer lore people pay 10K to get at. The breadsticks. Yeah, so you arrive at the door. The purple markings indicating the command module. The door leaps open for you, and you walk into a room where many people are busily and sweatily looking at computers, click, clack, clapping away, as Administrator Bella Rosa says, "Ah, my crack team of volunteers. You've arrived just in time. We've loaded up the dropship. Now it's time for our final, dramatic conversation, going over the things that you've doubtlessly already been told about what you're going to need to face as you go down."
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, what's a debriefing if it doesn't happen 5 times, just to make sure you're listening once?
That's why we call this the rebriefing. 2, brief of the evening. And she goes bloop on the holographic images that dance up as the lights swirl and show you the world of Chalcedon, mapping the radioactive storms, cutting at the fringes of the pole. Now then, as you're aware, a meteorological event is preventing normal activity from being conducted in terms of re-entry and exit of the atmosphere. The only vessel we have that can reliably make this run is the XL Raptor dropship. We've loaded it with medical supplies. Boop, boop. And we're going to send you down in it to reach the main hospital on the surface. It's going to be a difficult process. After you debark from Orbital Platform 1, you're going to need to pass through the upper atmosphere. During this time, you will need to worry about flames and rattling. Then, when you reach the mid-atmosphere, you will have to worry about all manners of radioactive material and hard storms, and also some flames. Then, as you enter the lower atmosphere, you should be pretty good, but, there might be some lightning or something, so watch out for that. Then, you'll land directly on the hospital's top and drop off the medical supplies. From there, you will remain in situ until such time as the storms abate. We've already arranged for you to get some good rest in the common bunks of the polar bunkers down there. So, lodgings have been arranged. And of course, for your excellent service, we will be rewarding you each with 500 luxury coupons. We appreciate your dedication to serving the Trinity, especially for those of you who have abstained from this payment. We recognize your valorous commitment. Now then, some things that you should know about your vehicle. There are 4 stations in the XL variant of the Raptor dropship. There are some pipes and tubes for storing inexplicably flammable materials nearby. There is a glove box.
Flammable materials.
There's a glove box with a important manual written in 7 languages. There is the rear with several exposed bits of pipe and greeble to let you know it's really been pared down. There are also 2 primary pallets of medical gear. There are only 4 rear seats, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. given that there are 4 of you and there are, 4 in the cockpit. Now then, while the cockpit is designed for 2 people, I feel confident that you'll be able to ride the lightning, so to speak, in comfortable close quarters. Overall, this mission should only pose a threat during the descent phase. After you've landed on the surface, mission complete. You'll be able to take the autopilot back up. We sincerely appreciate your volunteering for this on short notice. We don't have any pilots qualified for such a mission, as we normally don't have to face such adverse conditions. Now then, do you have any questions about the proceedings before I ship you off?
Remind me again, how long has the ground been out of contact due to the storm?
At this point, we are approaching 72 hours without contact.
Okay.
Is the dropship the... Go ahead.
No, that was it. That was the end of my question.
Is the dropship the XLV-37 model or the XLV-386 model?
The former.
Interesting.
She looks up and down and says, yeah, when they told us they were sending a Rast synth, I didn't realize that you were a Rast production.
Indeed. I have done extensive space Googling on this model of ship.
Ah, yes. I prefer Thrugl myself, but they're all really just the front for the same engine nowadays. It was more efficient that way.
Yes. Quite clever. It just tells which one you want most and then changes its title on the website.
Mother preserves us in these fashions, yes. Now then, Administrator Bella Rosa looks over everyone and says, you're about to perform perhaps the most important yet routine supply run this colony has ever seen. Chalcedon has seen terrible injustices and horrible death, but you will bring some light amidst this bleak void. We salute you, and I would also like to, in addition to the 500 luxury coupons, extend you a personal gift if you check your slates.
I check my slate.
Yeah, so it's a.
Here's a question about how synths work in this world. Do I have like a slate in my head, or do I?
Yeah, you've got like a slate in your head. You just like
Okay.
you get like the push notication to your brain, unless you want to
Okay,
have
I
it
feel like.
external. But the Administrator Bella Rosa has sent you all half off coupons for the station's borrows. She'll only have to spend half as many food coupons.
All right, I have to add that to my sheet. Give me a second.
Yes, voice of the Baltic Star. The sustenance is what unites us.
This is unnecessary, but I thank you. Nonetheless.
Yes. War Dancer Grail, I'm given to understand that you're an individual who survived in many adverse environments. I admire your star-trekking way of life, and
May you live long and prosper.
and appreciate your help in this affair. Now then, we have readied the path down, and we will drop a probe ahead of your descent. It should update you while you're in close range on atmospheric conditions up ahead, giving you all the forewarning we can offer at this time. It should be enough. In the event of any severe issues and needing to set down a different location, we have outlined the most likely landing zones in the snow, and doubtless ground teams will retrieve you shortly.
All right, let's get to it. That hospital won't supply itself.
Just indeed. I see great minds think alike. Now then, and she swipes something on the hollow table, and you all get a bloop bloop to your slates. You've been given control access for the shuttle, and she says, she says, Mother's speed, and don't forget the manuals in the glove box if you need it.
Then do we also have download to our slates because we live in, the
Okay.
It's an old human ship. It's not online anymore.
Okay, but we would still download like the fucking PDF to our own personal technology, James. That's how it works now. You can't tell me it's less
Do what? Do we have to roll a system?
Administrator Belrose,
You have not truly appreciated the dropship's manual until you have held it in the paper, smelt the shitty cellulite in your fingers, felt the texture.
You're
like, yeah, that's really how you experience
you
the
came out
manual.
outfitted with an olfactory receptor. Interesting. But yes, it's,
Well, speaking from a non-personal experience.
indeed. Well, yes, it's just that each copy of the manual comes with individual override codes in the event you might need them, which you definitely won't.
Lamp.
Mother Speed, she waves to you. Thank you, Lamp, for the host raid. The raid host.
Oh my god, yes, we get to play with the Raptor dropship. Don't even know how long. Well, I mean, waiting is such a strong word. Like, I've definitely poked around in there, but like, now someone's going to fly it, and I get to repair it as it, possibly tries to explode. This is awesome. Unfortunate.
You step back outside the intersection.
As we walk down the hallway, I'm like, engaging humor. As we walk down the hallway, I say, engaging humor protocol. Landing a dropship onto this planet almost makes me wish it wasn't a nuclear winter.
Not bad.
That is quite humorous.
Thank you. I've been running this joke for 36,000 iterations.
Surprisingly,
well,
I get
not
the
great.
Stubborn
I
giant.
got that joke.
You pass by EVA and you see several people who are like, "Oh wow, you're going down to the planet. Thank you so much." And everybody's very much like, "Oh, save the day," standing up and applauding you. However, as you move out,
Wow, applauding us
along the tram to the shuttle arm, you go beyond the approving clap, and the Jeb energy subsides. You are now only in the cold, padding and steel hallways of the station. With
Lies. In the Trinity, the Jeb energy never subsides.
Mother of Steel requests clap.
Indeed, you find yourself faced with the prospects of descending with only those three compatriots you look around and see. You share a moment in the iridescent light of the corridors as you make your way to your vehicle.
Is there a reason why this is like really dramatic? Like, are we about to die?
Yeah.
Probably.
The stubborn giant say that out loud.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, the proportionality of how much people clap is proportional to how little they were ever going to volunteer to go on this mission. You notice that the ship could sit like 8 people, but only 4 of us are going, and
what's the point of having extra people in the back?
Maybe they expected a larger party.
Here's something, and I'm like, I am kind of confused. Like, so you think that the hospital's been overrun too, or something's going on the surface, right? Or like, why would you be here? You're a Thrun war dancer. Like, you can't punch the
I do not
door.
know. I was here to visit the planet's radioactive surface. When I
I'm
heard
aware.
of this emergency, I volunteered to come on the dropship.
I was just aware that because of the adverse weather scenarios that you might need someone who's a little bit tougher to handle the situation. So I volunteered.
And I look at I'm like, you're actually a pilot, right? You're not like a fighter who is going to try to pilot. I feel like we're the only 2 people who like actually qualified for the ship portion of this supply mission.
Indeed. I have extensively studied this model of ship. As the mechanic, I warn you to mind the 3rd igniter coil. They tend to be sticky on this model.
Oh, really? Good to know.
Yes, that is what Space Google had to say. Ha 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 ha.
If it is any consolence or improvement, I am a little bit familiar with working with mechanics and shooting guns. Just in case you need it. No need to worry. Let's continue. Surely you two will be able to handle this with no problem.
Well, now you've jinxed us. We're all going to die. It was nice knowing you.
What is this?
Fear not,
jinx
I
you
have watched others accomplish on vids much more difficult landings in this craft than this.
Survival is a matter of focus and perspective.
Indeed. As Wanmar shares these words of wisdom with the group, you find yourselves at the rear door of the vessel, stood maybe 3 abreast, so someone's got to be in the rear. I don't know who'd be doing that. You can bicker amongst yourselves, but it slides open.
Do we have to like choose how we enter the ship?
No, but there's a very cinematic.
It's very important.
There's a very cinematic pan. Is all. It's just important to know. There's a very cinematic pan over like the 4 of you as you're standing in the doorway, and then you try and advance 4 abreast, and you realize that's not quite going to work.
Yeah, I'm like behind them, already like eating like half of the breadsticks.
I like to imagine down the hallway we were walking in that dramatic like astronaut walk where we have the helmets under our hands and we're walking along, and the hallway narrows and we realize 4 can't walk abreast anymore, so we kind of do like this awkward shuffle, and then someone ends up going behind and looks pretty grumpy about it.
Indeed. You find yourself here, and the shuttle has been stuffed to the gills with material, so you are going to have to shimmy-ya, shimmy-yay, hey, around the edges.
Alright, I do that. I assume I don't have to roll anything for it or anything, I just do it.
As long as you don't mind taking a few minutes, like, boop, boop.
I'm a roll maneuver to look good while I'm doing it.
Excellent.
I'll also roll maneuver just because I'm really good at it.
Get in the ship, guys. We're here to help people.
Wanmar is here to stunt on fools.
I'm a dance through the boxes.
I'm here to stunt on people, stunting on fools.
Alright,
what a
I see
twist.
a bunch of honest,
Jen,
I guess packed, charitably medical supplies. Cool.
are you worried about our safety now, Jin? Look at how agile and prepared they are. As I struggle
If their
to
skills
think,
at climbing over crates are half as good at their skills at piloting, we'll only crash a little bit.
as I say that, I'm like bumping into like the shelves as I'm trying to squeeze through this tiny corridor between all these crates.
See, that's the great thing about a dropship. You have to go to the cargo bay. Well, the repurposed cargo bay.
Yes,
let's
I'm
go
fine.
right
I got it.
away.
Big seats all the way down.
All right, hang on. I want to roll. Let's see if I like knock anything over.
Yeah,
just for funsies.
And quick question: which one of these is the primary pilot seat?
So I'm gonna say the upper one is the primary pilot seat, and the lower one,
As in the frontward one, or the one that's probably higher up?
the one that's higher up.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a 2-level cockpit. There's the stairs down to the side here, and there's been a little extra seat installed to the side of the pilot and co-pilot for people who just there for the ride. And there's also some flight seats in the back.
Well, isn't this like the sensors seat? Like, it's got a computer.
Yeah, you can do sensory things here, but you can also do some of them from the co-pilot chair.
Yeah, I would assume
Yes,
the
that
sensory
seat
stuff would be
is
down
in-
there.
In the historical records I have perused, mostly for officers playing Tetris.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're actually going to do it, it kind of makes sense in real life to have the co-pilot seat not be directly next to the pilot seat in case something happens to that section of the ship. Like,
Well, no, the
since you don't
co-pilot
have to,
seat
like,
Co-pilot's
grab
down here.
I'm confused by
Pilot and then co-pilot. Is
The ones
in
down the
front of
middle
pilot.
are the pilot and co-pilot.
Okay.
I will be in the back in case of emergency back here, as I can get through quicker.
Oh, I was going to say I'd like to stay in the back because there's more room, but perhaps
You can do that as well, stubborn giant.
The name sounds wrong.
Do you
It
need?
does sound like an insult a little bit.
So
Yeah.
let's look at our probe data. What are we seeing?
Well,
Well, stubborn was my father's name.
So the probe is slated to launch just ahead of you. So once you start the launch sequence, it will be fired.
All right, I guess do like a quick check and just make sure nothing's super obviously flammable and waiting to fall or kill people or whatever.
Yeah, this definitely
That's-
isn't. Your expertise and years of study tell you this definitely isn't a cinematic death trap waiting to unfold hilariously upon you.
Wow, I'm so glad that I didn't even have to roll a check for that.
Yeah,
that
how
I'm
can
just so
she be
sure.
Yeah. You also note that the fire extinguisher is positioned right here on the lower level for convenience sake.
Fire extinguisher. Okay, I'm also going to take out the manual now, and I'm going to earmark all the pages with the codes that we might need.
So you go for the glove box, and
Is the manual not there?
The glove box doesn't open. It seems to be like jammed.
Okay, I whack it. I have gorilla grip. My hands are tools.
All right, give me a mechanics. Give me a mechanics to unstick the glove box. Damn, what do you want to use your twist to do as you open the glove box?
I don't know, not break it, so like it'll open and close normally.
You like find that there's like a bit of like a metal thing that's been like twisted wrong, and something isn't screwed in quite enough. So you bang it in, and then you twist it around a little so it's looser and it'll like more easily go right where it should. Yeah, the glove box opens up, and you've got your manual right there.
Okay, is it like a normal manual? Do I find the pages that we might need in case of emergency?
It is a quadruple C thick tome that has just like pages on pages of information reprinted across multiple different languages, and yes, you do find the codes.
The Bureau of Imperial Printing sure was overzealous.
So I'll just hang on to this, put it in my inventory, just in case.
Yeah, no particular reason.
A wise move, Jin.
I turned back to the people in the crew cabin and were like,
Call me
stubborn
Jin,
giant.
Patty.
If you see any extra cargo straps around, you might want to use them to buckle yourself in.
Unnecessary.
I will look for extra cargo straps. And I look for extra
The cargo strap seems to mostly be used to secure the pallets to the floor, but there are some mountings for them closer to the door that you might, use kind of like an extra seatbelt. Although it would require a mechanics test to, jury-rig to your seat.
All right. I will... All right, so I take it I found it, so I will do said mechanic roll. Here we go. And that didn't seem to work.
You should have tie it around in a knot, and then you can't undo the knot unless you want to reach it.
Yeah, that might be a problem. I'll reach it.
Nope.
Oof.
This is harder than I thought.
Oh my god, please tell me you're now strapped in like it's a child's car seat that you can't get out of.
It's like in cartoons when a character who's really incompetent gets a bunch of string and then just it comes back to them a minute later when they're just all tied up in it.
Yeah, you wind up tying it in a knot, and you're not gonna be able to stretch it over your seat. It's just sort of someone's gonna have to come back and undo this later.
Mm-hmm. Wanmar.
But I can get out of it, right?
Does that little,
yeah, it's not on you. It's just a nuisance.
Oops.
Walmart does that sort of little crouch on the seat kind of sitting with the feet planted on the seat and begins the dance of stillness.
Wow, I knew a girl like that who would sit like that in middle school until teachers made her stop because you're not allowed to just crouch on the top of your chairs.
Did they not realize that she was leveling up her sneak?
She was really tall, so it was very apparent.
There was also 4 pages in that manual you just read about how to properly sit in those drop seats.
Yep, I mean, neither of them. I hope you put normal straps on, stubborn giant. They're there for a reason. Heading into rocky territory. Well, flamey territory.
I'm indeed. Beginning startup sequence. And if anyone has seen that scene in The Mandalorian where the protocol droid pilots the ship and he cracks his wrist down, the little connector comes out and he plugs it into the ship and just pilots like that. I'm gonna say I do that. I don't know if that's canon or makes any sense, but fuck it, I'm doing that.
Hey, I mean, this is a dropship that you have Googled and have no deeper connection with. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you see a UDO,
Definitely Spider-Man hands to pilot.
Yeah, a universal digital orifice, and you just jack in and twist. And you find yourselves prepared, beep boop, to properly sync your descent to the launch of the probe ahead of you, to be properly timed to make changes to your course based on information you're getting from the probe without losing track of its signal. give me a systems. Due to your closeness of your connection, I'll give you a modifier of 1.
1. Lovely. You are a good and generous DM. Yay!
Indeed. You begin the process. You fire the drone, and it goes and silently coasts out through the black of the void until it begins to silhouette itself in perhaps a cornea, perhaps a corona of flame as it punches through the upper atmosphere, and you begin to receive relevant atmospheric data beamed back to you. And the XL Raptor dropship deconnects, decouples, and debarks from OP1.
I turn to the crew and I'm like, I will attempt to maintain maneuvers within acceptable human G-force limits.
And I'm like, no, the whole point of the dropship is that you can feel every G as you physically drop down like one of those old-timey human rides. It's amazing. There's no, attempted passenger comfort at all.
Yes, I am understanding of that. However, you are a soft, swishy human, and if I maneuver as hard as would be optimal for myself, you would become what is referred to as paste. As you mentioned, this is truly an incredible machine. It is much sturdier than you. You are the weakest link. Make sure to fasten your seatbelts.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys.
Okay. So you prepare to descend. And
Indeed.
The atmosphere spreads before you, green and sickly haze in a polar vortex over the north pole of Chalcedon. In the distance, you can see massive craters, green glowing seas, crackles of electrical discharge in the atmosphere. As the void
I like to imagine
begins
it's
to
like that
give
lightning
way.
in Fallout 4, where it does that cool reverb sound.
It does the cool reverb sound.
Yes!
This pleases your auditory sensors. The probe data begins to come back, coursing with the strength of a mighty river, and it begins to populate your options up ahead. It should seem that you have 2 courses ahead of you: a steep decline or a gentle decline. And yes.
What are the benefits and hazards of each?
Chanting, do it, do it, do it.
Well,
I mean, I'm tempted to go steep. Steep seems like the best way to go.
So-
You want to get through that atmosphere as quickly as possible. It's like what I say when driving. If you're driving somewhere dangerous, you want to drive as fast as possible to get out of the dangerous area as quickly as you can.
so the steep descent is going to risk greater turbulence and ability to account for unexpected atmospheric conditions. The wide descent is going to give you more latitude, but it is going to burn up more of the heat shield. And if you were to try and take off again soon without maintenance, the wide path would have well fucked you in that attempt to re-escape
I'm going to go
the
for a
atmosphere.
steep descent because YOLO.
Very well then. You find yourself on the steep descent, and you begin to lower yourself towards the upper atmosphere. You all feel a crackling break and a twist in your guts as you begin to feel the G's shift. There is no artificial gravity in the dropship. You begin to feel a tugging at your toes, a lingering weight on your extremities, now awakening, growing stronger, being remembered, striking down at your body, vengefully for your spiting of its great and all-encompassing gravitational nature by treading amongst the stars.
I wonder what roller coasters have done to Lee. It's like...
Lee, we need to go to
Roller
an
coaster
amusement park and just
compare.
have you narrate the roller coasters.
I've never been on a roller coaster. Oh, it goes back. Yay.
What?
What?
Dude,
Oh my God, we've learned
this
some
summer,
weird
you and me are
stuff
fucking
tonight,
going to like
guys.
Busch Gardens or some shit.
Yeah. We'll do it. We'll fucking do it. We'll make it a streamer. We'll make it a fucking influencer event. Alright, so Cole, you back?
I'm back. What's happening?
I did a flowery description of the fucking atmosphere for a while you were gone. Alright.
Oh, cool.
As it cuts in,
I guess.
you feel everything begin to step into motion. And beep boop. You see a nondescript gauge on the dash pass into the 90s. Roll me an operation.
Oh, you are my favorite person today.
So as he's rolling, how does this feel? Like
It's feeling like you're beginning to feel the tingles of gravity on your extremities. Now, as a viewer, you're used to very heavy gravity, so, you know, as the G's kick up, you're going to be pretty alright. But, Beep Boop, you have a twist. Are you trying to make that go fast? Are you trying to be more impressive? Or are you trying to make the travel more bearable for your friends or anything like that?
I'm going to try to make it less painful for the fleshy humans on board.
Alright.
You don't really need
You
to.
see probe data
I
up
have
ahead.
stated that I like the... I go places...
You're not a
where
human.
The hazards.
There's one human.
Dang.
Yeah.
Exactly, the fleshy human on board. You're the one sitting next to me. You're the one who will shout at me if this goes poorly. They'll just die quiet.
Yeah. So,
I'm the one chanting "do it" next to you.
So the whole windshield is overwhelmed in a halo of fire as it singes at the heat shield. You make yet another drop. Drops etched into your very silicone core from thousands of non-simulated combat drops in Raptor gunships. Dropships much like this. And you feel yourself ease into the general loose routine creaking through your primal circuits, although it is almost like a chassis that's come unloose. For though you have done this many times, there is something unsettlingly different about this organic scenario that has changed its nature as the probe, blink, blink, blinks, shows an unusual pressure system up ahead during your descent. And everybody aboard makes me an endurance with a modifier of 1, because Beep Boop is taking it easy.
All right.
Why are you taking
You're
it?
welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
I guess like he
Now,
said, the human.
This is a
One
communal,
bar is 5.
this is a
One bar
communal
does not
test
even-
where you can share successes, but I will say you need to be reasonably close enough to do it. So I think only Beep Boop can help Jin unless Jin would care to reach.
I'm like Landmar and we're
I have my
I'm
one
doing
hand
advanced
plugged into the
experiment.
console, and I reach over with my other robot hand and grab you in a robot grip, and I'm like, do not fly away.
Yeah.
Do not be crushed.
Whoa, the head rush. Jesus fucking Christ. Why does your Thread Wardancer have that? What's the point of getting the ability to test with alacrity maneuver if you're going to stack resilience?
Oh no, it's just endurance. I don't actually have that much resilience. I just have 4 endurance.
Wanmar almost appears to float meditatively as the dance of stillness guides her through this arduous element of the descent as gravity is at once shifting, flinging you up and about before beginning to pound you back towards the rear of the vessel. Stubborn Giant earns well their moniker as they adjust their bimonocles and twirl their moustache.
Did you say bimonocles?
the
That's
bimonocle.
not a thing.
It is
I
now.
am going to invent that at the LARP. I'm going to get 2 monocles and take them together and call them the bimonocle.
That's a bifocal. Well, no, it's not. That's a different thing. But then there's spectacles. If you get 2 of them, it's not monocle. That means 1.
But
This is where we
bimonocle-
say
I think you
needed and
underestimate how dumb I am.
It's now
Nah,
a thing.
You
It's
shouldn't
real
tape them
now.
together. You should use a bent piece of plastic between them.
Now,
Plastic. This is the 1800s, James.
you aggressively descend, and the heat whoosh, flicks up all over you. You are progressing through the upper atmosphere nicely, and the probe ahead is sending data regarding an unusual pressure system that has not been fully logged. Right now, the flight computer is suggesting that you might deploy certain countermeasures early to avoid poor reactions on the space frame. However, it doesn't have a logged example, and the computer can only work so fast here. If somebody were in a position to test systems, they might be able to figure out something a little more. Additionally, the reactive thrust to slow the descent is triggered manually, but to individually coax the flow of fuel will be a mechanics closer to the rear of the vehicle.
Alright, I did not pass that. However, based on my character's simulated experience with these dropships, I assume that when you run into unexpected turbulence, the doctrine is to go faster.
Okay, I think the idea was whether or not you would deploy the countermeasures in advance, not knowing if they were specifically called for. So that's not either going fast or not going fast, or you're not answering the question.
I think going faster is the primary countermeasure.
Well, you're bad at this. Okay, sorry. What are we? Is there a problem with fuel, or are you just like saying some token thing that a mechanic might feel useful?
So there's not like a problem with the fuel, but the individual like workings of the because the countermeasure is would slow your descent.
So that's the opposite of what Beat Boop is going to be doing.
Yeah, like I mean, he's not employing the countermeasures though.
Yeah. So you guys continue down into the atmospheric
Should
zone,
probably.
the mid zone. And as this happens, you're getting data from the low zone showing a high level of electrical activity coursing up near the location you're headed through. However,
Can I look at that?
Yeah, you've seen it.
My console and systems.
Yeah, it's right there. You want to interpret some data?
Yeah, I want to interpret some data.
You super twist the shit out of that data. I'm gonna say you super twist, and Jin, you get some insight. It should seem that there is something that is known as a radiotronic vortex, and this radiotronic vortex is a rare form of weather found on this planet. And descending through it is going to require threading the needle through its eye to avoid the worst of its impacts. You can advise Beat Boop in a way that would cause it to be able to bring you through, although you'll probably need to retrofit the countermeasures to side boost you through it to succeed in threading the needle.
I'm like, holy shit, that's a radiotronic vortex. Okay, I'm gonna fuck with the countermeasures. You're gonna need to thread the eye of the needle. I assume you've had practice doing that, or, Googling it.
Indeed. It is easier to fly a Raptor XL through the eye of the storm than it is for a rich man to get into heaven.
Like, you believe in heaven?
He's quoting the fucking space.
No,
Bible.
that is chapter 72, page 36, line 12 of the manual.
I really thought that Trinity had scrubbed references to religion in that form.
Well, this is not a Trinity ship, remember?
Yeah, well, but the manual's written in 7 languages. I assume it's not 7 human languages, like I assumed he got up
Might
to.
be.
But it doesn't matter. Okay, what do I need to do for countermeasures?
So
I can imagine that Italian in the Human Empire became Subarinese.
you head to the rear. You have to head to the rear to go to some of these pipes and individually adjust some of the valves. But to get at it quickly, some of these crates and cabinetry will need to be rearranged, which would be an endurance test.
I'm like, oh great, it's the part where we rearrange these. It's almost like no one anticipated that we need to fuck with bits of the ship in this extremely damaging to the ship situation.
Indeed.
Goddamn Trinity organizing.
Now, Stubborn and Wanmar, you see Jin is struggling to move some crates out of the way as she's moving to
I'm reaching for it.
get the job done. All right, yeah. All right. And then she's not struggling at all. She's doing a great job. Now,
One mark does the dance of walking so that she can be in the pilot or in the front cockpit just in case something goes horribly wrong while no one else is in there.
Now, on the left
It's
hand,
a dance of walking.
No one else,
It's
the
something
pilot is
straight out of the
there.
Ministry of...
so someone is going to have to, on the left-hand side, arrange the countermeasures to boost to the side, and on the right hand, adjust them to stabilize. The more important job is the side boost, but it should be done in tandem with the stabilizing boost. So this will be 2 separate mechanics tests that cannot be done by the same person.
Do you need aid?
Yeah, Stubborn Giant, get over there to the right. Like, shit, hopefully there's a path there. Okay, I see that there's not a path and also hear the crunching sounds. Let's hope you didn't damage any of the medical supplies we're risking life and limb to deliver to this
Stubborn
planet.
Giant, get me a maneuver to lodge yourself up in there.
I mean, it's not like his crates were sterile or anything inside. You can puncture them.
Alright, time to maneuver. Whoop,
Yeah,
All
I
right.
succeed, but
Stubborn Giant is a very maneuverable giant.
Yeah,
I love the shock system. It's like I succeed, but
I am.
But
Spades.
yeah, so you succeed, and you have a twist left over to do good stuff with. But unfortunately, you I'm gonna say you probably put a +1 into this mechanics test. But as this happens, you sent a box clattering over right by Jin's leg, freaking her out, giving her 1 edge.
Come on, it's my least favorite result. Such bullshit.
Indeed,
Jin can really put some people on
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. Did you say mechanics? Yeah. It was
not yet. So Jin and Stubborn are perfectly positioned to do their boosting jobs. Meanwhile, Wanmar Grail does the dance of walking, which I am gonna go ahead and say it's moonwalking. She fucking moonwalks into the bridge next to Beep Boop as Beep Boop is about to make the most important twist of perhaps its programmatic existence. Beep Boop, you're going to have to thread the needle here, and you'll have to do it anticipatorily ahead of the booster rockets. Give me, I would say, an operation if you had, say, a co-pilot doing something that might be able to help you.
I turn to the person moonwalking next to me, and I'm like, sit there, press throttle forward.
Understood. I'm gonna do a little hop and a jump to this seat.
Mm-hmm. Now you are maneuvering as the gravity begins to sort of grab at you, but you're doing so very well because of your earlier endurance test.
All right, so what's the roll? Is there any negative or plus for my co-pilot?
Wanmar, do you have any skill in operation?
I do not.
Do you have any skill in systems?
No. However, I do have 6 alacrity.
Why are you here?
While I don't know how to fly, I
You
can
asked
still
that
do it all
earlier.
right.
Yeah.
Beep Boop, I'm gonna say, Wanmar, you can take control of the hyperaxial altimeter and roll an independent operation to help Beep Boop with arranging the gravitronic adjustments ahead of the Flame Shield Flambingo, which is the next
You can
stage
take
of
over
descent.
Beep Boop's Pong game, so Beep Boop doesn't need to do that too, in addition to
That's true.
Beep
There
Boop
you
and
go.
Wanmar. Alright. So Beep Boop and
And then
Wanmar give me their operation tests.
Okay, I'm gonna
What?
I'm gonna program that. I'm gonna
Bro,
You can't
Uh,
focus
the
your
freaking
systems
robot
on
made for this
right?
job just did worse than the dancer who's like we all are asking why she's here and she's just upstaging.
Look, I mean, that's how roles
I'm
work
gonna-
sometimes.
depends
Like,
the
there's clearly
process.
a much better chance of Beep Boop
It's
succeeding.
beautiful.
yes, I'm spending a processing to do that again. There we go. That's better.
Alright, so
Okay.
with 4 successes overall, you managed to get yourselves to the edge of it, but radiation signals are beginning to come in hot and heavy from the probe's zone right ahead of where you are, and it looks like it's not going to be quite enough to thread this needle. However, it's now booster time. Jin and Stubborn, give me the mechanics.
Success.
Alright,
Yeah, success.
the side boost gets it just in. The stabilization gets you just back on track. You have, from this, lost some descent. But you are threading the eye of the needle. The strange atmosphere around you begins to crackle a bit. And you see radiation shielding at 75%. Radiation shielding at 74.5%. It should hold through the rest of your descent, but there are clearly problems. And you're beginning to get a sign that exterior redundant electrical systems are beginning to fail.
Uh-oh.
You descend
Well,
further.
it's when we threaded the needle so much as bonking up against all of the different parts of the needle as we, slowly limp through it.
Yes. You
That can't.
The probe punches down towards the hospital. You're passing from the mid to low as you all give me an endurance test -2 as the great upheaval jostles you about.
It's-
I had to stop the dance of stillness. It's sad. I'm gonna edge that a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, I did not expect to pass that.
Mhm.
-2. Okay. I'm good.
All right, so
No problem.
yeah, you're
There we go.
You also all get to roll your armor dice, presumably 1 armor dice if you're just wearing the TS standard spacesuit.
We have to roll our armor too.
What do we need it for?
Because this is a hazard turbulent. This is a turbulence hazard, and you are being knocked about.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not wearing the spacesuit.
Well,
Amazingly, 1 armor doesn't do very much.
5 armor didn't do very much either, so, you
I
know.
mean, yeah, armor in the system doesn't do very much in general.
so
I don't know what you're talking
as
about.
things get knocked about, bits of beep boop, one of the drawers containing the used to be an ashtray and is actually still an ashtray because sometimes the pilot likes to smoke. Comes unhinged and like bangs into your knee. Wanmar, these tertiary glove boxes all come open at the same time. Previously jostled boxes begin to fly around back with the stubborn giant and Jin as various unsecured flasps and previously secured flaps begin to jostle about. Everything
Gonna say,
as
this
this
is
happens, you are
pretty
thrust.
foolish.
You're
All these
thrust
unsecured.
towards the rear of the vehicle with and the side with sudden energy and force, which overwhelms you. And 3 damage is headed at all of you. For every success you got on endurance or your armor, you reduce 1 of the incoming damage.
So I got 1
So if
damage.
I got 3 successes, I don't take any damage?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I take 2.
Jin fully stable.
So I get hit in the knee by that ashtray, and I'm like, I have been pre-programmed to say "ow."
And that ashtray
Alright.
does like 2 damage to
Question,
you.
what is actually hitting me for a damage from all of the tertiary glove boxes?
Well, you see, there is actually like an oxygen mask, just for funsies, that's up like above the co-pilot seat, and that just like projects down and smacks into your face as various things fly out of the glove box.
Should have been that bird that dips into the water glass, but with like its beak sharpened to a point because it's like a letter opener from a human empire.
The Dippy Bird also smacks into beep boop. Woohoo! 210 backers. This is so exciting. There's backers flying through the atmosphere. Oh no, they're burning up. Oh no!
What have we done to our hackers?
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so everybody pop on that your respective damages. You're traveling down. You've reached it. You've reached the low orbit, and there is lightning smacking everything. Beep boop. You see that you're about to head. You're going to get zapped. The question is just by how hard, by how much. You got to make me an operation to respond to this.
All right, it's time for my response. Luckily, I have a lot of theoretical training with this ship.
Now then. Beep boop. You have 2 twists as you succeed in dodging the lightning. However, there are 4 things you can twist for. Good approach to landing pad. Less lightning boo-boo. Safe descent for people inside ship. And,
Is there an option for ride the lightning?
All right, I'm gonna go for good approach to landing pad and less lightning boo-boo. I figure we're going to a hospital anyway, so if the people get injured a little bit, we're fine.
You should have gone for good approach and swiftness, so you could
We
say you
also
rode
have-
lightning.
I am made of electricity, James. If we get zapped bad, bye-bye everyone.
alright, so
That's not true. I can sort of fly. You saw that.
Wanmar and Beep Boop, you're in the pilot's seats. Stubborn Giant and Jin Frobisher, you are in the rear. You two give me a
time to
maneuver
move up, yeah.
as this all hits you.
Oh, that's not good. I can't do
I was
that.
supposed to be in the rear doing this.
I'm going to do a jig, and the crates just go like, wham, smash one of you, and wham, smash the other.
Be careful going through. I'll use my success to help Jin.
Alright, so Jin, you sort of like your knees lock and you drop to the ground, and you're suffering a -2 to your next test to maneuver in these sorts of conditions. But Stubborn Giant gathers you, under.
I use my extra arm.
Their extra arms reach out, and their gravity-resistant frame helps you on the ride down. As I am watered.
Yes.
Dramatically, and amidst the flames, through the fire and the flames, you all descend, and a bit of hype near Stubborn Giant and Jin is struck by electrical fire, beginning to envelop sides of the wall and bake at the plasticky cabinetry of the vessel. Something must be done swiftly. You are all rocketing down. The vehicle is shaking. You're pressed to the ground. The back of the vehicle, rather. And, it should seem that somebody must get the fire extinguisher unless you have some other means of extinguishing the fire.
Grandma, toss the fire extinguisher.
I will grab the fire extinguisher and go through the door and throw it to Stubborn Giant.
Now, this is an incredibly hard part of the descent. You are being pressed towards the floor and stuff as you clamber around. Give me a maneuver with a modifier of 1 because you've already done a good job handling the descent. To because you're standing almost partially on this wall as you come here.
I shall do the dance of the heavy planet.
Excellent.
This is actually originally a dance developed for when you're partnering, limited mobility, but now it's a war dance.
Mm-hmm. And of course, even though I could spend the extra twist to go faster, I'm going to look good while I'm doing this instead.
Okay.
And come out and throw it to Stubborn Giant.
Are you sure you want to look good while you're doing it and not add a +1 to this ballistics test you're about to take?
Yes.
Only that ballistics to throw the fire extinguisher at Stubborn Giant.
I'm looking forward to the
I am going to edge
concussion.
that.
You want to reach that?
So you figure you throw the fire extinguisher directly into the fire. That's how it works, right?
Okay.
There we go.
Ooh.
Nice. So
And I'm going to once again spend that extra 1 to look good.
Now, Jin, you're kind of up against a crate. So you're prone against a crate. You see almost the ceiling now is the doorway. You see Wanmar, and you know what? She looks great. She's doing really good. It's pretty cool. She's doing flips and shit. In fact, the way she puts a spin on the toss, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Really
she's got
cool.
really elegant wrist action. I'm reluctantly attracted to her in these moments.
Yeah, I mean, the camera really pans over it too. This is a great shot. Anyway,
Just
Attraction is
imagine
the best
all
kind of
the things
attraction.
that hand and wrist can do. I mean, I grabbed the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, and the terrible moment where I've been splayed into these crates and can't support myself. Such a mess.
now Stubborn Giant, can you give me? I'm gonna call the catching can be considered a block. Would you like to give me a melee to seize upon the incoming projectile? Bear in mind, you have a -2 to this unless you let go of Jin to free up all your hands.
Okay, well, I'm holding on to Jin to... Well, she's already prone.
I mean,
Yeah,
you should
she'll
do it.
Am I helping her?
Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
She'll be fine.
Yeah, and the way the ship is shaking, if Jen's not on her 2 feet, I might have to keep holding on to her. So, I'm making that melee. I'm hanging on to her.
All right, melee
Oh,
nice
wow.
too. Give me that block. Block.
All right, just normal melee, correct?
Correct.
All right. Got
Yeah.
Do you look cool while you're doing it, or do you give a +1 to the extinguishing roll you're about to make?
Fuck no, I'm doing the extinguishing roll.
All right. Now, bear in mind, this is a mechanics with a tool that gives a +2 modifier. You could hand it to Jin and have her do the extinguishing, or you could just do it as you are.
Gosh. Does Jen, do you look ready to,
I mean,
Extinguish this
under the
flame.
circumstances, would you really think of that?
I was gonna say, because I
would you,
catch it, I'm probably not handing this off.
You probably grab it and then shoot. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you'd be
So,
surprised if
mechanics
you
go.
it took time to hand it to someone you were supporting.
Right. So yeah, no, I'll take the mechanics
just
plus 2.
disappointed that you
Correct?
ruined a really good
Yep.
cinematic moment by
All right.
doing something sensible.
Let's go. Oh, I gotta
oh.
push that. Gotta push
Ooh,
it.
I guess it was a
Reach it,
CO2
reach it.
fire extinguisher.
Reach it.
Nice
Oh,
one.
no.
Amazing.
Yes,
So
we're
in the
doing it.
process, something has crackled, and the foam expanding into the beginnings of the melting crack off this cabinet. Something pops open. Pills go flying all over. Several crates are knocked into and begin to fall onto Jin. And
All
right.
you, as the fire is not extinguished in this moment, Stubborn, you've got to choose. Do you move your body to like defend Jin and take the hit yourself, or do you try and get to safety? Stubborn, you have dangers to go alone, so you'll gain +2 modifier to this maneuver or endurance either way. But
I was going to say,
Hmm?
my name is Stubborn for a reason. I'm
Stubborn's not
staying
moving.
put.
all right.
Stubborn beats crate.
All right, make me an endurance with +2 modifier. As crates fall, Stubborn gets pinged. Hazard, which I'm gonna call like.
I got one
2
extra
eight.
hand. I got 2 hands on the fire extinguisher, 1 hand on Jin. I got 1 extra hand. It's probably the left lower. So,
I've seen
it-
some
it
very
fucking-
utility here.
It
More
lights. It
hands.
lights a fucking Zippo.
yeah, right. Yeah, time to light the zip. No.
Like we
All right. Oh,
fire.
wow.
The most appropriate of stubborn reactions. Just like ball it up and
Get
smack
out.
it
Okay,
away.
so you take 2 damage, but you take all the crates, one of which cracks open, and you like bat it with your open hand, but you accidentally bat it towards Jin, and you just see like hypodermic needles fall out towards you, Jin. Roll me your armor. Roll me your armor as this happens.
I'm just gonna pull up the drugs
Why?
reference
Like,
real
the
quick.
Do I
Trinity
see
Species doesn't
what's
have
happening?
functional armor.
It saves you. As
It
you say
saves
that,
you.
It pops into just
Yeah.
the autoclot like tube, which fills and pops it out. That's good. You don't know what we're in those. You don't have time to check as everything flutters and cries around you. Wenmar, you witnessed this. How are you reacting? Oh, by the way, from that, both Jin and Stubborn Giant, roll me your resolve.
Oh,
Do I have to roll resolve too?
I don't have much of that either.
Wenmar, you don't
My
quite see what happens.
dilettantes.
So,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I witnessed the explosion though.
What happens if you pass your resolve but you also panic?
Well, you win some, you lose some. In this case,
What an edge.
Jin, I'm going to say you make some auditory or physical action, which sort of like gives Stubborn a momentary. Oh shit! Did she get pricked? But you didn't. But they still take 1 edge.
Yeah, I'm up in
All
edge.
right,
The
so
3.
to witnessing the failure to extinguish in the explosion, to give them time to recover and re-extinguish, can I like go over to the flames and block them from getting in with like my hands temporarily?
What the fuck? That's not how fire works.
Well, 'cause
I use my
It's a
hands.
jet of flame. It's a jet of flame. You
Yeah,
wanna
it's
put
out
your
of
hands
flame.
on
So
it?
I'm just trying to like stop it so that they can recover, or so that you two can recover and then actually extinguish.
All right,
Not a monk.
Well,
You're
you know how you like
here.
stop water with your hands? It's the same thing. Right?
Yeah. So okay. So you want to go do this? I
So
mean,
essentially, like hold on to the hole of where the jet of flame is coming out of. So it's just burning my hands a bit.
okay,
Literally
a
the
bit.
stupidest plan.
Yeah,
Like,
A lot.
Roll me a maneuver to put yourself in that position, and then you will endure a fire hazard.
Yeah.
what the fuck? Oh my god, those need a like. Who stored these medical supplies?
So one of those is going to help me in this enduring a fire hazard, and then the other one is going to be to
Looking
look
cool.
good.
Oh my god, you're gonna die looking great, is all I have to say about this.
Yep. That is the
Wouldn't have it
plan.
any other way.
So I dance on over,
Yeah.
and I do the dance of enduring the pain. So just roll my endurance.
Hold on.
Hands on fire.
I can only imagine what this dance looks like. Actually, I can't. Please describe it.
Okay,
Jake.
so this is a roll 8d6 for 8. Okay, so the fire property is 6. And if it gets any successes, you're considered on fire.
Okay.
So how do
Me
you
just sitting
avoid?
up there going, yeah, what a successful flight.
So now what?
Mhm.
So that, and then I roll endurance. And
So,
only endurance.
Well, right now, every success is a point of damage. Fire problem. Every success is a point of damage, and any success means the fire is on fire. The remainder. It doesn't show me how you defend against fire here. I'm gonna say you're wearing a Trinity. What are you wearing in terms of armor?
An impact vest, a Trinity spacesuit, and that's it.
I'm gonna say that you roll your armor and roll your resolve, because like your body isn't gonna like. This is about whether or not you're willing to do this.
Okay. Armor. And resolve.
Please fail. Please fail.
Yeah.
I am willing to do everything.
You are suffering a -2 to, I would say any test that isn't, I'd say -2 to tests involving fire until the next go about here, and you're having a pretty hard time. But you manage to stare it down and to continue, despite the fact that you are beginning to be a bit burned.
It's just fire coming off.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
You're
on fire. That's not how fire works.
You take 1
Oh,
damage.
you bet I'm on fire. No, you're actually on fire.
Yeah, so as this is happening, Stubborn Giant and Jin. Stubborn Giant has spent one of the firings of the fire extinguisher. Stubborn Giant, roll me a 2d6.
Oh, is this for the
resource? Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, it's not out yet. It's not out. So yeah, Jin and Stubborn, you're watching this unfold. What do you do?
Jen, do you take the fire extinguisher from my hands?
Yeah, I'm like, give it to me and then like aim me in that direction. I literally cannot keep my feet on.
So Jen like reaches for the fire extinguisher. I hold her up.
All right, I'm gonna say Stubborn Giant's endurance skill is going to be a positive modifier to Jin's mechanics because you are assisting her using it.
All right, so is that my endurance plus her whatever?
Yeah, so what's your endurance skill?
My endurance is 3.
All right, so Jin, you're going to roll a mechanics with a modifier of 5 because you're getting +3 and +2.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
cool.
Beep Boop, in your rear view mirror,
go.
you see
Now, Jin, this is your turn
Jin
to show
is being held up by Stubborn, who is firing a fire extinguisher, and someone's trying to use their goddamn hand to stop the fire, and they're burning. They're actively burning.
I inwardly smile as I'm like, just as is outlined in chapter 13 of the Flight Handbook.
All right. Now, Jin, you get a super twist. I'm going to say you solve this problem and can save Wanmar.
Let's just extinguish the whole area.
Yeah.
I hope you just blast it, like, just all over.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it that way, or did I?
Now,
Very good work extinguishing the flames,
Now-
Jin von Fischer.
based on
Or Frobisher.
the information you're getting from the probe, Beep Boop, despite everything you've done, you are going to be hit by one more round of lightning. You are looking at the capacitor levels, and they are indicating that shit's a bit fucked. And there are 2 primary choices that could be made here. You can reroute the power surge to disperse the electricals across one of 3 zones. The first zone is the cockpit. The second zone is the cargo bay. The third is the engines. The engines are unlikely to restart swiftly after a direct jolt like that. You'd be dead coasting in the air, and even with a good approach vector, you're not going to survive a hit to the landing pad. You'll have to coast down into some snow nearby and hope you don't hit a building. Hit the cockpit,
so
you
I
risk
have-
some sensitive materials, but most of them are redundantly protected, but you're risking yourself as well. Hit the cargo, well, that's
I'm
where
not
the,
redundant.
that's where the
That's
cargo
where the
is,
cargo.
and that's where some of your
Everyone else.
Patriots are. So,
Less important that we're there, and more important the cargo is
So like I can't dodge through anything. I gotta take it. And I gotta make this.
I
choice.
will say this. If you want to, you could attempt an operation. If you get
All
anything less, if you manage to get a super twist, you will evade this hazard entirely. If you fail
And
to
how
gain
many
a-
hits is a super twist?
It is 3
Three.
successes
4.
past your
Okay.
success, so it's 4 overall. And if you
Alright.
if you just succeed on it, you'll invoke turbulence, and then still have to disperse it. And if you fail entirely, 2 locations will get hit.
And probably not of your choice. Or maybe. Wait.
Not of your choice.
Oh shit.
I believe in
So
you.
you can take the
Mac.
guaranteed pick one. Or you
Okay,
can
shit. I'll
risk
just
it
take
with
the guaranteed. I'll take it to the cockpit because I'm noble.
Oh shit!
Dang.
Oh shit! You guys hear, and all the lights go.
Do you inform us before you do?
No.
A
Okay.
teal light crackles. All
I don't have time.
over.
Lightning moves really fast, James.
Beep boop.
Probably sounds like this. Hey!
Roll me a fucking endurance -2 test.
Beep boop.
I like these endurance -2 tests because they're
Beep boop. Beep boop.
not great.
Wow. 3 of the things you rolled were a 4. I just
Okay.
think that's funny. So close. You know,
There is
4.
5 damage coming at you. It just like smoke's coming off of you. A beep boop, a dangerous. Alright, Cole, you can't do it for beat players in the game.
Oh shit.
There's smoke and ash coming off. You're getting red lights, beep, 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 from various signals all over. You're smoking. There's smoking. There's twisted bits of metal. Things are having a bad time. And just like a bit of like loose gantry falls, clattering all over, breaking some screens and spreading glass. You could barely even see like what's before you on the re-entry tinted shield. And
I still like to imagine that throughout all of this, the entire time, I'm just standing there in front of the console with my hand sticking in it. Just
As debris just pelts.
yeah,
Oh my
all of your approach computers are gone, but you had a good visitage lineup. You come down through the lightning.
I don't think you understand me. I am the approach computer.
Everybody, you feel your stomachs churn one last time as you get thrown around on the ground in your various states of, being burned and disrepair. You can choose to either scramble for a good place to hold on for the landing, or just sort of, bunker down and take it. So make a maneuver or an endurance. Due to the fact that the computers are not necessarily stabilizing right now, it's a -1 either way.
I do the dance of survival, and go back to my chair so I can resume the dance of stillness. So it's a -1.
Am I allowed to make a maneuver given that I'm kind of plugged in?
You're not making this. You're just like you're
Okay.
fully stationary in the cockpit right now.
I
Yeah, I'm like-
definitely failed that.
Plugged in.
Oh god.
And now, stubborn. Let's have it. Okay.
Got it.
Now, Jin, you could save Wanmar Grail as she's about to get bonked on the head by this moving cabinet.
Yeah, I mean, I'll grab her.
All right. Yeah. Where do you move to, Jin?
I mean, I have no idea where it's safe. It's just like a
Also,
fuckload of sliding crates.
Oh yeah, you bunkered down. You get near with the well secured.
Yeah, so I think I'm literally just grabbing her as she fails to dodge before she gets
Wanmar
bonked.
hops up, gets thrown over, does a dodge roll over a crate, and is caught by Jin and just bunkered down. And
Yes, and then I shield this beautiful mad woman with my body.
yeah, and you,
Stop dancing.
you look down and you blush a little as you see you wound up holding hands. Oh my. Stubborn Giant, it's a Tuesday.
Lee,
So-
that's illegal.
And yeah, everything's coming in, and you see the guiding lights below you, beep boop, but the lights around your computer just say, "Bzzz," restarting, 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 and it's just you and the ship, and landing on a snowy helipad in a lightning storm with radiation and wind problems as all your targeting computers are restarting. Give me an operation -3.
All right.
Bear in mind, if you have 10,000 hours for this flight of craft a vehicle, do be giving yourself the +2 against that.
I have been.
Okay, good, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna processing that because I don't want to crash at the last minute because that would be kind of
Deadly
not
to you.
great. I
You're
mean, yeah,
dying?
partly, but also partly. Well, I can push twice per roll. I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, you can, as a synth. So you can burn all the way down to 1 processing remaining to roll it again.
I will. because I'm literally the pilot, and this is my one fucking job. If I fail this, who gives a shit what the rest of the session goes?
Okay.
Yes!
I have to go make a quick map of crash. Bring it the fuck.
Okay, how
in.
many fucking die was that? That was like
Wow.
Holy
11
shit.
die per roll, and I got 2 successes. I don't know what the odds of that are, but they're not good.
You come.
Fate.
You
Very
cradle
much
it in. The
favored.
probe is by now thudded to the ground. The probe let people know you were coming, and like the lights are all up, and people are ready to receive you as you coast down to the hospital roof. The Raptor's doors opening up behind you, and you all being here. As I remove the doors and well, the extinguisher's probably still around, but you know. You're here. You're here on the landing pad. You fucking made it. You landed. There's gravity back below your feet, and you guys hear like this vague static of Geiger counters from distant background radiation. You feel the pressure fully upon you within the atmosphere, but it feels almost light and liberating compared to what you went down through the descent. And now, you're just here as a door on the roof slides open, and you see you know, some medical personnel arrive. What do you? How
I
are you
forgot
guys
that I was
feeling?
playing music in another tab, and then the song came on. I'm like, wow, that's a bold choice for the soundtrack.
Greetings.
Yeah. So
This
as all of this swirls around you, how are you reacting? As you
Well, I'm gonna step
Don't
forward from the
think
ship,
this
and I'm
is
gonna
commentary
say,
piloting like you vomit in like the corner of the landing pad.
I say, another happy landing, and then I turned again, and I'm like, was your first dropship experience everything you dreamed it was?
That was quite a good landing, Beep Boop.
See,
Well
I feel
done.
like the original use for Marines thing is that they would fucking secure things properly. Those crates were not strapped in right. I'm like gonna have several bruises from this, and not in the fun way.
Ugh.
I believe
That
I will
was
need to
thrilling.
rest, as there are burns before I head out into the waste, as there are burns on my skin.
Several medical personnel arrive, and one of them steps forward and says, "Have you gotten our message? Are you ready?" And Beep Boop, you check your slate, and it says requesting urgent medevac. Cryopod failing. It should seem somebody with an advanced stage of a ravishing disease. Their cryopod has failed, and there's no parts to replace it. Nor have you been sent down with cryopod replacing parts. They've only got about 12 hours to live, unless they can be gotten up to the station.
I'm like, negative. We received message of affirmative, but only like 2 minutes ago.
Can you do it? Please. He steps up on the railing, and he looks at you all. He's like, I know you've been through a lot, but this patient's going to die if we don't get them to that station. We've been doing everything we can to keep them
Would you
alive.
unload the medical supplies for your own
Yes, and
facility
yeah,
first?
people run in and like, you know, there's a very quick unload, and people
Station
also
is this?
like, you know, like on like a roller bed bring up the cryopod.
Well, I'm like, well, we got 12 hours. Could we spend like the first 10 fixing the ship and me?
And he says, the space station, yeah, orbital platform 1.
Shit. We gotta go back.
Yeah, they say this is going to be very narrow with our patient's life, but we do have to obviously require some repairs.
Oh, quick, let's unload the cargo bay and.
They're doing that. We are above such work. I mean, not really, but they do have people.
They have some people doing it, but you know, like if you help out, it'll go faster. So it's up to you
Yeah.
guys whether you roll an endurance to help with this or not.
I got
Well,
the strength to
I mean,
help
I'd
out.
probably work on fixing the ship so we can get up faster because I'm a mechanic and that's my
If
job.
it's endurance
You
to
fix it,
help,
I'll
I will
help carry. Let's go. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
I
So-
can help with
We're running short on time.
So, Madeline, give me a mechanics to do what you can to repair the ship.
Okay.
I will help unload with endurance.
I'm like I've only taken
Fucking
2.
Burns treated first, crazy woman.
No,
Nice.
that is unnecessary.
Very nice, engineer.
Wow, with the super twist,
Engine.
they bring up
There we go.
they bring up some additional radiation shielding, and they're like, oh wait, if you have to allow this, you won't have time. And you're like, watch me. And you manage to put on the extra radiation shielding. What was like a Guinness Book of Space Records, new record. And as everything's quickly offloaded,
Such a good baby. Like you can do.
Did
it
I
one
like
more
stub
time.
my toe or something? What happened?
Yeah, so as you're doing the offload, and Wanmar is helping. I'm gonna say you bump into Wanmar, and Wanmar, you take it on a burn mark, and you gain 1 edge, as the pain just sort of reminds you that you're in a slightly wounded state.
Ouch.
But vital medical supplies are offloaded, certain repairs are done as Jin shores up the ship, and most vitally gets everything in the cockpit back online.
Like, oh my god, what?
Move it, Dancer. Let's go.
Yeah, and they say, we spent our last rocket probe trying to get something through the storm to communicate with the station to send in the medevac request, so we don't have a probe to launch ahead of you. You're gonna have to take it as she comes. And then somebody walks. A crazy old man walks up and says, "Hold on. Oh, you don't have 12 hours because the radiotronic tornado is about to become a radioactive typhoon. Look!" And you see green lightning in the distance, and they're like, "Damn, you're right. It's going to close the access portal. You'll only have a thin margin of error to make it through without getting scorched."
All right. Does anyone have any spare screws?
Thread them no
Just
better
from
this
your
time.
We really need to get our robots some repairs.
Yes.
There's nothing we can do.
They say, "We have repair parts around here in the old repair part locker." Oh, yes, I've done a few things in there over the years with a few sprightly young sorts.
Okay,
mind
your
Greece.
time is of the essence. We don't have time for your sexual conquest. We'll come back later and listen to your old man stories. Repair parts now, please.
Oh, of course. And
Give me the cryo chamber.
Yeah,
Cryo tube thing.
Stubborn Giant begins to push the dolly with the cryo chamber, and they bring up just as quickly as they can X2 repair parts, which are kind of like medikits, but for healing robots. And they're like, we could try and get our technician up here, but blatantly the most qualified person here is Jin to perform the repairs.
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
like,
body.
Jin, as one named after alcohol, I assume you're a good mechanic.
Hey, you can see for yourself. Yes, it's exactly why I have the name that I have. All right, this is gonna hurt you more than it hurts me, probably. But let's see what we've got.
I do not have pain
Landmark.
sensors.
Do you know how to properly store a cryo tube in a moving vehicle?
Use the straps. Don't tie them in a knot this time.
Of course.
Yay! More health.
Oh, I said Wanmar. Yeah, I meant Beep Boop.
Now,
Thank
do
you.
you keep the repair part, or do you try and make a second go on Beep Boop, Jin?
I mean, I look at Beep Boop like, want me to
I'm
patch
like-
you up more?
It looks like he's at a
Save
sex
that
out
one.
of number. 6'9", looking nice.
I think we'll save that one in case we need it later.
All right.
I'm good enough to operate now. As long as I don't get struck by more lightning.
6 out of 9.
I'm gonna do pre-flight checks and such.
All right. The doctor walks up on the railing, looks at you, and says, "I'm sure you're a crack team sent by the Trinity, but I need to inform you that with the cryo tube on an external battery pack, it'll be very vulnerable during the ascent. You'll need to ensure they get lots of dimethyl sulfates, and also be sure to keep the battery packs in good order. We've done what we can to shield them, but you're going up through a green hell up there, so good luck and mother speed." And the old
Jin,
man says, "I predicted this meteorological event." And they're like, yeah, you're the meteorologist, dude. That's kind of your job. I mean, we appreciate it, but it's a little late. Like, we wanted some more advanced warning next time.
Why do I have the
children
feeling
no
that he's...
appreciation for...
I was gonna say, why
I
do I
grew
feel
up-
like out of all the insane ramblings, there's like a secret code that he's
I
trying to
grew up
follow?
eating baked beans, trading soda top caps for currency and strapping batteries to each other to make laser rifles.
I'm gonna move in here and just start putting like even more additional straps onto the cryopod.
Hey, Fangirl.
Jin, I believe it would be a wise move for you to remain in the back with the cryopod in case anything goes wrong. Do you concur?
I mean, sure. We apparently have no way of securing ourselves back here, so I'm going to get.
Yeah, if you strap into the flight seat, you should be good.
Yeah, but then I'm not by the cryopod. Like, apparently there's no way for me to maneuver effectively with a rope or something. Like, we haven't invented that technology. Notice rope.
Do we not have like
strap yourself
fancy
to the cryopod?
Cole, you stubborn giant looks around, and you remember that when you worked briefly in the Veer Crewed Vehicles program, they had a way of reassessing old, like, cargo straps to be better for people bungees for a variety of work, as it's dangerous to go alone, and you whip out quickly, with 4 arms, a good harness, for one person to be able to traverse the back, and all rigged to the ceiling line, used to baggage train stuff out, and you get it all into the back with you, next to the well secured cryopod.
All right, and this is just for like harnessing purposes, then, or?
So you managed to. You'll get because of this insight, you'll be able to give anybody who's trying a +2 to mechanics to secure things.
All right. Thank you. Fangirl Review, thank you very much.
Big shout out to Fangirl Review.
Our review for you, 10 out of 10.
Yes. The Fangirl Review, 10.
Also, now that I've finally looked at the chat again, Pat, of course I know, of course Wanmar knows she's mortal. That's an important part of survival. If you were immortal, survival would mean nothing.
I like to disagree with James. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, James, I didn't hear that.
So you all limber in. The medical staff offload everything. They load you up on dimethyl sulfates, and the old man.
So how does that work? Like, is it a tube that we have to keep secured? Are we putting it into something? I don't understand what we're doing.
All right, so you've got a special thermos of fluids, which can be slapped onto the thingy to give the person inside a little more juice, as it were. And it's got a big old battery pack strapped to the back of it. And there is one good bungee system that's been rigged up to the rear center of this cargo area. The only drawback being that it's not suited for someone to be able to run into the cockpit with if they were attached to it. And that's more or less the scenario. And if one is wearing a maintenance rig, one might have an easier time with it than not. That is more or less the setup in the rear here as you all look about. And the various medical personnel are like, let us treat your wounds. And they look at Grail, the burned Thren, and offer to
that would be unnecessary.
Like, but
the wounds remind us that we are here.
Okay, the wounds lower your operational effectiveness.
We are alive.
This person's life is on the line. I have no information about them, so I'm going to say
higher.
They look at, they're like, okay, I guess I can't treat an unwilling subject unless they're unconscious, but wait a bit, what about you, the Veer? And they're like, you'll need, the meteorologist in the back are like, you must take off swiftly, or and they're like, yeah, but I mean, like, and they quickly run in and palm Stubborn Giant a jab of adrenaline and say, in case you need it.
What? Oh, I'm fine, but I appreciate it.
Give you a slap on the back and rush out. You guys are on the roof of the hospital, and the storm intensifies above you as they fully top you off on fuel so that you'll be able to make the exit, because you're going to burn through a lot of hydrogen fuel just popping out through the atmosphere. And
okay, yeah, so I am going to get into the harness, I guess, so I'll be able to move around here better.
All right. You see the frigid face of a frozen, unknown friend within. A forlorn face of fortitude and frigidity.
I'm tempted to like hack into their system to see who this person is, but I feel like I'll protect them better if I imagine that they're a better person than they are. So I'm just gonna make something up for them.
Indeed. So yeah, you've got him secured. And with the storm in the distance and the wind buffeting you, you feel as if though you find yourselves in the calm before the storm. You look around at your compatriots, and you ask yourselves, wait, where'd the other half of those Sparrow's cheesy breads go? Stubborn Giant. You had about half of them.
He ate all of them. He ate the second half earlier.
Oh, he did? Okay.
I said I ate almost half of them.
Well, okay, you said you ate
checked-
almost half of them, but you'd already eaten several earlier, so like...
Stubborn Giant, did you leave one remaining? Was there one left in the cup?
Well, let me check. I'm going to check my resolve and see if I didn't
Resolve.
Nope. Oh yeah. We must have forgot one of them.
One of the doctors inside says, "Oh, by the way, did you guys include any of that Sparrows?"
I close the door.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the ascent, Beef Boop?
Sorry. They're all gone, guys. Oops.
Beep boop, are you ready for the ascent? As you learn that the last of the Sparrow's cheesy breads are gone?
I am the most ready for the ascent I have been. Now that I know the Sapporo cheesy breads are gone, that means we're good to go. I don't know if you're going to give me options here, but I think take off, get a little bit of distance from the landing pad so I don't scorch it, and then shoot into space.
Alright, so you're going to go for yet another steep approach.
That's the only way who does
It
things.
worked out last time.
Let's go.
Someone
Stubborn
got
Giant's
fire,
ready.
someone got electrocuted.
Alright, so...
Hey,
It's
we
like-
landed.
Some lightning, some fire.
I only got lit on fire because you
gonna happen
guys
this time?
put out a fire fast
Alright,
enough.
so Stubborn Giant...
Okay.
Exactly.
Help at all. I would just do.
So Stubborn Giant, Beep Boop,
Yeah, but I look good.
and Wanmar, you're all in seats. Jin, you have, a harness and, of course, your spacesuit has mag boots. So you can sort of position yourself, although you will be getting a lot of thrust. And you are next to the vulnerable cryotube where a life yet in your hands resides. The stolen time they have dwindling from them.
Do we have like a name on this person or like any other info other than?
I would say the only like visible information, if you wipe your slate camera over them on like the AR label on the cryopod, is occupant Jane Doe.
You could also
Okay.
probably see if they're like human or thread, considering you
Wow.
said that they're
Now
ice.
I
you
am
could see their
curious.
ice-
I'm gonna try
I'm
to
like-
hack the hospital system and see if I can find out who this is.
I was like, that was so anticlimactic. Now I'm more curious.
Jin, you
And if it was
whip
the
up
more interesting-
your slate, and as you're harnessed in over, as you feel the gravity pressing down as the ship takes off and begins its ascent, begins its flight, a bit of that wobbly turbulence taking you. You're like bungeed up over it, and you're like looking through your slate. You run the systems, and you go over a series of names, and you find a folder labeled Western Fringe. Would you like to twist for extra information?
Yeah.
All right, you pan through the files, doop doop doop, and you find one individual by the name of Margaret Twain. And
Let me guess. This she was frozen on the planet before the bombs went off.
no,
Shortly after. Ah, damn it.
Margaret Twain is a descendant of a group of individuals who lived a long time in the radioactive mists of Chalcedon. There was a strong warrior tradition in Chalcedon, led in rebellion by their charismatic leaders before the Titan arrays ravaged this world. Margaret Twain is identified as one such individual with a disease common to them produced within the radioactive miasma, twisting and turning at their DNA, the double helix growing sickly in the process. And there is something unique about this medical record you learn with one final twist of info, which I assume is what you're using the final twist for.
Yeah.
It should seem that this particular strain has been isolated. Part of the reason that Margaret Twain has been frozen is not just for her own benefit, but because the hospital there is studying her in particular, because she has a partial resistance to a disease which kills many in infancy. They believe that by unlocking
Radiation
her
poisoning.
gene, they will be able to create a rad-resistant solution.
Guys, it's the pit. It's the pit from Fallout 3. It's the pit DLC. It's the Fallout Pit DLC, guys.
You hear
Guys,
a
it's
robot
Fallout.
making
Guys, it's
weird
Fallout.
sounds to the north.
Like, wow. Nice to meet you, Margaret Twain.
The name does not mean anything to Stubborn Giant. Although you
Yeah,
do see
no.
Jane Doe written on the cryopod.
I feel like I've heard that name before. Not sure.
Indeed.
And
Now,
I'm like, I feel like it was the vice president of Subaru Corporation during the war.
Oh, I have no idea. Didn't study that in Veer School, or whatever they call Veer School.
the bouncing of the outer chamber begins to take effect, and you hear the engines flaring. Beep Boop begins to align you for a harsh takeoff.
Couldn't
I
be.
take off the same way I take off in Star Citizen. Gently thrust like 20 to 50 feet above the landing pad, angled directly towards my destination, and then punch it.
You begin
Thank you.
this brazen ascent with some advantage of time and toil. Your system's back online. Give me an operation with a modifier of 1.
Oh, I did the operation a hot minute ago, but I'll roll one more die to reflect that modifier. It didn't matter.
You have a single success. You pull back up. You are making a pivotal part of the journey. You are going to have to begin
All those die.
to apply booster rockets to get through as fast as possible. Now, the booster rockets can be manually controlled via a systems test from somebody up front, but they can be better applied manually from the sides and the rear. However, it would require someone being unseated or bungeed during the travel up.
I turn back, I'm like, hello, bungee bitch, please activate thrusters.
I'm like, excuse me, what did you call the person who was just inside you? I mean, doing necessary medical repairs.
You see me, I have my one hand on the console, you see me reach over to the manual that's on the seat used to be sitting in, reach up, flip to chapter 97, and point to bungee bitch as a technical term in the manual.
The individual seems to be in a slightly more Shibari rigged position than you are now, Jin, but it is indeed there.
Yeah, it's totally there in the manual I said I was taking earlier.
Yeah, wait.
So,
Presumably, Beep Boop. Actually, yeah, Beep Boop has their own copy. Wait a minute.
Yeah, of course I have my own copy.
Where'd
Are
they
you
get
kidding me?
that?
That's what was in my junk trunk, Madeline.
pulls out of his ass a manual with,
Yeah.
an
Jin,
older edition of the manual, indeed. Okay, now what am I
You'll
thinking?
need to position yourself. I presume that
Well
the tube is like strapped into a chair here. You'll need to position yourself near the narratively appropriate tube of sudden jutting flame to prepare the extra
lovely.
booster rockets. Yeah.
Favorite tube.
You you pull up, and there is a slight latch to pop open to begin giving the additional thrust for this punch up towards an escape to the heavens. And as you hit the bloop button that opens up the latch and it reveals the levers and sprockets and spring boos, you hear,
Access granted.
Is it just a mechanics test?
Yeah, and as some cool sunglasses fall down into your face, you feel like it's time to blast off and give me a mechanics test.
It's not a game.
Jin, you coax it just right with the fuel mixture to really rocket you all off. And at 10,000, we rocket off to $10,233 with 211 backers. As Beep Boop makes me an operation with a modifier of 2.
All right, let's go.
This is for all the backers. Come on. Come on, people.
Because we were running in the 90s. It's a new way to set you free. Wow. Oh, wait. There should be 2 more dice I rolled. I forgot.
There we go.
Remove 2 more dice. Doesn't matter. Who cares?
The Eurobeat
I
pops
get 1
on
fucking success.
as you ascend,
Man,
and without
all
the benefit
these
of a
die.
probe or
One.
anything else, you have to descend through the radiation NATO as you try and get through the collapsing eye of it all. And overwhelmingly, you see the lights on the ship go boop, 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 and everybody feels themselves slightly jostled. Now, Jin, you have your mag boots, but you're also bungeed, and that's kind of like not quite the same as being strapped into a chair. So give me a maneuver with a bonus modifier of 1.
It's because you did adopt the proper
It's not gonna
Shibari
go well.
tie-up.
Okay, I feel like that still wouldn't. It's not the same thing as being seated either.
I mean, I definitely have no personal experience that would contradict that.
Now, Jin, you make a successful test. You manage to ready yourself. However, in the process, you realize that you're about to do your ankle a heckin' roller Reno if you keep your mag boots activated. So you deactivate them, forcing you to bungee fly to the rear shutter of the ship as the most intense bit of the ascent is made, and you're like all the way back there. The ascent continues to be brazen, and you tear up and forth as the radiation begins to overwhelm. Beep Boop. You see that there are a variety of pressure formations bearing down on you. The wrong twist or clip of your wing could crack them off, but you're not sure where. You don't have probe data. If only you had the eyes of someone who knew the dance of storms to assist you.
I extend my sort of telescopic eye that we established earlier at the Pizza Hut. Or the Sabaros. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect the great goddess Sabaros. But I extended at Wanmar and I'm like, Wanmar, read the dance of the winds.
Of course.
Give me a scrutiny
So-
to read the dance of the winds, Wanmar.
And while you're doing that, the robot starts going, you must be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of
Nice,
great
Wanmar.
typhoon.
Dang. Good job.
Dang.
Read the dance of the winds.
There you go.
Wanmar manages
Mysterious
to see and guide you through as you ascend into the worst of the storm. And
That
yes, as the radiation shielding that was expertly put on does its job, and the lightning rattles outside, you all feel a great pit popping. Beep boop. It looks like the pressure attunements on the exterior of the vessel have taken a hit, which cannot easily be replaced even by a swift maintenance. You're going to have to program them to fail sequentially to give you the time you need to make it out of here. Roll me a systems with a modifier of 3 as Wanmar guides you through the storms.
All right, let's go! I'm getting 1 success every day. I mean, I can't say I'm angry about it.
Now, Stubborn Giant and Jin, you guys feel a lot of twisting whoop, whoop, as the ship makes automatic adjustments to not clip its own wings as you ascend. You feel a churning in your bodies. Roll me an endurance with a modifier of 2 to Stubborn Giant for being strapped in, and a modifier of 1 to Jin for being bungeed.
Like, well, good thing I vomited earlier.
Endurance.
I do notice that the hospital offered us nothing to eat. Rude. All they asked about was we brought fucking breadsticks. They said, hey, did you bring us
Ew.
food?
Alright, and,
Uber
Yeah, they don't
Eats,
have a
is that
Sabaros
you?
down on the
and
planet.
Jin, you
clearly.
can also roll that 1 point of armor. It might help you again.
Okay.
Oh, do I need to roll it?
No, you fully cancel. Okay, so Jin, you are taking, unless you want to reach 1 point of damage. This from being jostled.
You can
around.
reach with
It's-
armor? Oh,
Not
wait,
with
no,
armor,
you can
but
reach
like
with
her endurance.
Yeah,
take
you're
it,
right.
yeah.
You're
All
right.
you take it. Jin, you feel like a cramp develop in your side, and you're like, that can't be good. As the pressure gets to you, you all ascend. Fire rips over the nose of the vessel yet again as you punch through this heavenly veil, this unfit raiment, this dastardly cowl of death that yet holds back this mortal life you seek to keep sheathed upon the coil against all odds and the commands of fate. And beep boop, you see through the storm, suddenly, a clear visage, a crack of light. We'll be back at 10:40 p.m. Eastern after a 10-minute break. Woo! Thank you all for coming out. Change Stars is doing excellent because of this beautiful community we have built. ! Quick start! ! Links. We've got a lot going on.
I would just like to say one quick thing to the community. If you don't fucking reach the Rast stretch goal, you fuckers are gonna have hell to pay. I want more Rast. Don't fuck me like this. Thank you and have a good day.
I'm gonna
I
say
will
to the
sit that
community,
one. I think
don't
that'll get
listen to
through.
Max. You guys did great. You already reached the most important stretch goal of expanding the new supply and their glorious righteousness. So, thank you.
Oh, what's that? What's that we see? Water the leaf. All right, everybody, it's break time. Water the Lee. Water the Lee.
You're right. I should do that too. The way to get rid of points.
Hey, old buddy. We will have a very watered Lee. Yeah, V just got here. It's break. So we're watering the Lee. Go get water. Go get some chips, some drinks, some snacks. You know, all that good stuff.
Or you could stay here and enjoy my terrible dancing.
Terrible. You were the legendary dancer. You should have seen this guy. He was dancing. He did the dance of endurance. I don't even know what that's like, but he danced so hard.
No,
He redirected a spout of fire.
It's the dance of stillness. It's the Grail School's master dance.
All I'm saying is your dances have too much power, especially in this game right now. All right, I'm gonna be right back.
Hey. Thank you, old buddy, though I should say you really shouldn't encourage me, considering, I'll do this normally a lot anyway, so... Unless you feel like mistimed head-bobbing streams are really what you want to go for, you know.
Oh. Hello, old buddy. I am being watered.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
I'm going to put this to the chat as well as the people in the thing. I'm probably going to get a haircut soon. I haven't gotten a haircut in just about a year. I'm not sure if it's slightly longer than a year or slightly less than a year, but near enough. Should I get it short, or should I just get it like cleaned up so I can have it even longer?
You should get a mohawk.
Bud's cut or exactly Pat's haircut, you can cosplay as Pat.
I have considered something pretty similar to Pat's haircut, with I think a bit longer on top, so I could do more of a Miller from The Expanse thing.
Hear me out, though. What about a mohawk?
I just don't think I have the head for it.
I mean, honestly, I think you probably look better if you just cut your haircut tidied up. I think you look good with longer hair.
That's fair. To answer anyone in the chat, do I look good with longer hair, shorter hair? I haven't had, this is the longest my hair has been, probably since I was in middle school. And I want it to be longer than this, if I want it to be long. Because this is kind of the awkward middle length in my mind, where like it's just long enough that it's kind of a pain and goes everywhere, but it's not long enough that like I can put it up in a, bun or a ponytail or something to get out of the way if I need to. And it isn't voluminous enough for me to like, flow down Fabio style yet. I need more length for that.
A lot more length for that.
I'm just saying.
But my hair was pretty fast. I mean, it went from like short to this in less than a year.
Yeah, but sometimes hair grows faster in the early stages.
Well, that's from what I understand. That's because if you don't get your hair cut like every 6 months, which I am well behind on, it starts to just split as it grows. So you don't really get any new length because it's just kind of breaking and falling off at the ends.
Interesting.
So
Sort of,
I
but yes,
heard,
it also
to be
depends on
fair,
your
from
hair
people
care
who sell
and, like,
haircuts. So
Yeah, I
How
mean, I'm pretty
fast
sure
your body
people
dies.
grew out their hair.
There's
in,
other,
you know,
there's
the
other ways to
medieval
avoid
world, so
split
that's-
ends, but yeah, if it's not cleaned up and you don't like do certain things to it, you'll develop split ends, and it'll be, it will keep getting longer, but it will get nasty. You want to keep it clean.
and I think it gets longer faster if you trim it just a little bit every once in a while.
Sort of.
From what
But
I've
yeah.
heard from a YouTube video I watched, where two people on a YouTube show went to a barber shop and got each other's haircuts. What the fuck do you want from me? It's not a scientific source.
It was a thing and it happened. So
Yes, it does need to be cleaned up. My hair is a fucking mess right now.
If you
this
don't wash
this
your
isn't
hair
as
too
clean as it
much
gets,
and
but
you
like
make sure
this
to
is
condition
just
it a
about as
lot,
speaking of haircuts,
it will keep on
Speaking
split
of
ends
clean,
happen
it's
later.
nice and clean plays, or what? Simple and clean plays as we ascend. And you know, you guys are jostled in the back, but you're not that jostled. Beep boop, you're ascending. Everything's going fine. Wanmar has led you through the storms. You're almost the heat shield is really beginning to go 50%, 45%, and you're like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it off this boost, off this rocket. We're gonna, and then the Eurobeat stops. There is a cold static that ripples across your whole world. An alarm blares. And you
it's back.
begin to lose altitude as some sonic boom ripples through the atmosphere, jostling, striking your vessel, and ruining its escape trajectory. Beep boop.
Uh-oh.
You've got two choices here. If you maneuver severely, you will use up so much fuel you might not be able to finish the escape. But if you maneuver conservatively, you and your companions inside the vessel may not survive. Which do you choose? You have to roll either way.
So maneuvering exuberantly could get us out of here, but if I fuck up, the fuel's gone. Conservatively might not be enough.
No. Conservatively, you will also get out of here, but but there's a chance that everyone inside sort of.
Okay, but if we run out of fuel before we get to the space station, won't we also all die?
I mean, I'm doing it exuberantly. That's my steez. But like, you know, I just want to consider the option that I'm not choosing.
All right, so you're risking the fuel by doing that. Then you're just going all out on the maneuvering.
I'm going all out. I figure if we can get out of the atmosphere, we can at least send out a beacon or something. Even if we're out of fuel floating in orbit, they can pick us up.
True.
Yeah, but we're talking about because you've just lost a vital element of your climb into space. We're talking about you not breaking atmosphere potentially with this.
Well, I gotta break out. Use all the fuel, Lee. That's what it's there for. If we need more
Wait,
fuel, we
stop
can like
it.
render the fat from one of the crew members.
That is not how it works. And also, if you don't care about our lives, then like don't defend us in the first place and maneuver in a way that won't just ruin this shit.
I don't think we'll need to worry about that.
All right,
I
so
do a good job.
You
Oh
ascend.
hey, we got it. It's
Sit
dangerous to
down.
go alone for Max's character.
Hey!
Oh, roll another two, Max.
Amazing.
Roll another two, Max.
Max, you beep boop, you see the lever which acts as the space handbrake, and you realize that when put into second gear mode due to your knowledge of the system, it uses the extra special reserve fuel intended to do the super cool twisty twist off the top engine into the general fuel reservoir, giving you just a little more boost.
Wait, you're using the drift fuel as boost? Genius.
Now, Jin, you see the currently inserted
I've
battery
also
pack-
jettisoned like the lavatory liquids to, you know, put extra mass downstream.
Yes. Jin, you see that the battery pack lodged to the back of the cryopod is beginning to spark. And it looks like it's taking that hit bad as it, like, lists slightly inside of its, container as it's still secured, but it looks like there's a power issue beginning to threaten the person in there, as everyone rolls me an endurance with a modifier of 2.
And positive or negative modifier?
Positive.
As a master of the dance of stillness, Wanmar is unmoved.
So, to move 6 meters, unless you are on the bungee, under the present situations, you'll need to spend a twist. So right now, Jin can move because she's on the bungee. Wanmar can move because she's got a twist. And I don't see Stubborn's roll yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna get
when
up.
I was trying to roll, I accidentally closed the wrong window and I just booted myself out. So I'm rolling right now. It's an endurance, correct?
Yeah. So you rush up. It's sparking. It looks like there's some danger. There's some damage to the battery.
Okay, is there anything I can do to, like, temporarily fix it?
Right now, that battery is a huge risk. And the thing that you're supposed to do is eject it and then slot in the backup one that they have stored there. However,
Okay, so where's the backup one stored? Like, I didn't...
it's like physically in the basin of this thing. You don't have to move anywhere to get it.
Okay.
But you do have to risk getting shocked to do this, unless you were to cut power to the cryopod, which would kind of defeat the purpose of
Yeah,
your
I'm not gonna
presentation.
do that. Okay, I'm like, here goes nothing, and by nothing I mean my electrocution. I love being a nursemaid.
As this
Okay,
happens,
so-
the bungee begins to drag you like up and back a little, and you give me a mechanics with a modifier of -1 to grab at the shit.
You know what? I've just been watching Jin just bounce around this whole cabin. Like,
Yeah, you want to help? You want to hop down there?
you need help over there.
Just be careful. Like, if you like knock into this thing, and
All right.
I'll put it this way: if Jin is like definitely failing, I will unbuckle and leave.
Yeah.
But that is a very good point. I'm huge.
Yeah. You also, as you kind of like shake in your seat as you feel the level 1 shock, take a -2 to the coming don't get fucked up rolls. And Jin, you
That's me.
succeed. But yeah, Jin, you succeed. Yeah, that is you with the -2s. Jin, you succeed. However, you are subject to an electrical shock. Electrical hazards are only defended against by VAC armor and resilience endurance. Oh wait, so what the? Oh, never mind. Then your armor and your endurance. Never mind. I'm silly.
okay, so
So roll your endurance and armor like normal.
Hey, there you go. Oh, but the armor.
So you're probably gonna get a little shocked. Oh no!
Yeah, there you go.
You're fully negated, which is good because if you had been shocked at all, you'd be suppressed. However, with level 1 shock, you have the sparking battery in your hand. You're like, fuck! It almost shocks you. You drop it, and then it proceeds to just fly about the compartment and to begin to bang into things with a spark. As
Oh,
you
shit, that's no good.
successfully finish the reslotting in. Meanwhile, up front, Beep Boop, you've made drastic maneuvers. You've twisted about. You are listing towards the innermost depths of this gaseous storm, and terrible environmental issues are beginning to overcome your vessel and bang at it. And you are not presently on an escape trajectory at all.
Well, that's bad.
Indeed, you're beginning to burn, but you're beginning to get a side burn going down, and you're not even angled properly for it. And the sides of your vessel are heating. This is not a good scenario to be in. And your fuel is very, very low. You're going to need to make one final thrust to make it through the upper atmosphere. But it's going to take
All right.
everything you can muster in the fuel reservoir.
Indeed. All right. One final effort. If you'll give me 1 second, I just need to play that Halo song in my ears real quick before I make this roll.
Now, you have to make a decision, Beep Boop.
All right.
Are you? I'm assuming you're going to continue to try and escape the atmosphere.
Yeah.
All right. Then that's the decision, more or less. So you're going to
Well, I mean, what's the other option?
To enter a descent trajectory and,
And try to land somewhere on this radioactive shitscape? No, thank you.
Dimming this person to death.
Dooming? Fuck this person! Me!
Well, you wouldn't be condemned to death at a radioactive housing. You're a synth.
I looked up the rules. Since they're resistant to radiation, we are not radiation proof.
I mean,
True.
still, like, probably wouldn't kill you before you got back
Radiation
to
does
civilization.
eventually fuck with technology.
Yeah. So you're trailing, and yeah, there's you've jettisoned a lot of things, and you are making your ascent. The only thing that is left that you could potentially choose to decouple is the XL Raptor dropship has been equipped with an additional heat shield for this atmosphere. If you detach it, you'll lose some weight, but you'll have to ride off of the cockpit's own heat shield, which is normally rated highly enough to do atmosphere-to-atmosphere journeys, but not regularly in this harsh of an atmosphere. You'd severely risk the cockpit getting fried in the escape, but it would cut the weight significantly.
All right. Other question for other thing I could possibly do. I assume the crew has been smart enough to suit up. I'm assuming we're in suits.
Everybody's in a fucking
Assuming
space
we are in suits.
You could disrupt the atmosphere.
Could I vent the atmosphere in the ship backward?
You could do a rear vent thrust. Yes, but someone would need to go back there and rearrange the life support tubes to cause it to have the desired effect.
I'm like, I kind of like turn my head back through the door and I'm like, set up a rear vent thrust, and I'm gonna deploy. I'm gonna jettison the heat shield. I'm gonna fucking.
Like, it's probably something more efficient I could do with just the fuel supply. But okay, Captain.
No!
Yeah, well, you could also do that, Madeline, because you're going to want all the fluid you can get. Also, a light is blinking on this that says more dimethyl sulfates needed. More dimethyl sulfates.
I'm like, fuck it, stubborn giant. You grab the dimethyl sulfate. I'm gonna fuck around with the fuel stuff.
All right, stubborn giant, are you ready to slot a tube into a slot?
I don't know where fuel stuff.
Yeah. So the fuel stuff. All right. So the life support. The life support thingy madoober needs to be done in two places. One of them, these explodey tubes in the cockpit. The other, this explodey tube right here.
Okay, but is that more efficient than, like, the fuel supply? Because I kind of feel like it's not. Like, I can't imagine we're really going to get that much push from just venting atmosphere at one moment. Like,
No, well, you are pooling a relatively small amount of additional, and I'll say that the fuel stuff gets handled here, near where the sparking battery got flung and slightly singed the metal. And
okay, I'm confused. Is that a yes or a no? Like, what can I do most efficiently? Like, we don't have enough people to do both of them. Like, there are only 4 people here. I think you can pretty clearly see that. And we need
the fuel
stubborn giant for the cryo thing, or all of this.
Yeah, the fuel reservoir boost is going to be the most efficient.
Yeah, like.
All right, stubborn giant. There's a tube here of stuff. You have to give me a maneuver -2 to go over there, grab it, and slot it in the machine.
It's...
Oh, okay. So time to grab the. All right. I feel okay with making the maneuver. I'll do it.
You get it. You pick it up. You slot it into the machine. But as you slot it, you knock into one of the securing cables on the cryopod, and it lists slightly, drifting back a bit.
Uh-oh.
And one of the cables is off, and the person is in a very precarious position. You feel like if
one
you
of the cables is off,
move from your position on them, you might be having some issues. Jin, at just this time, you're going to gather the fuel up. Roll me your maintenance test.
Just like keep holding on, giant, stubborn giant.
And now Wanmar and Beep Boop. And Jin, this is going to be how many successes you get.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach that.
So, Beep Boop and Wanmar, you're up front. Is there anything y'all two... Or, Wanmar, do you want to try and do something to jettison and vent the system?
Nice.
There we go.
Nice. There we go.
Yeah, nice.
That's what we're talking about.
I think
I feel like
actually
there's gotta
I'm
be like
going to jettison the heat
pulse on
shield.
the rear panel or something. Sorry.
I think I'm going to jettison the heat shield so Beep Boop can focus entirely on just getting us turned in the right direction and thrusting.
All right, yeah, you have to spend the time pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
If you want to do it precisely the right time, then I would say give me a scrutiny to sense when the heat is greatest. And
Very well.
And yeah, so
The dance of fire and ice.
oh my god, so Beep Boop, you
I see that you were kicked out of Throne War Dancing School for being too pretentious.
Beep Boop, you barely begin to you rock the vehicle. You're trying to get it back into place as the flame shield comes apart above you, and you get a great boost from an extra fuel reservoir and the lack of extra heat, and you give me an operation with a modifier of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. However, this is considered a -5 test. So 7.
Okay, so
you
it's plus 7,
so
minus 5.
You get 2. You get 2 from this. 2 from your main. So modifier 4.
Okay. I was about to say, there's a lot of math involved. I do not sign up for math.
that's-
Boy!
Yeah.
That's my best roll of the game!
Finally, people gets a good roll.
Amazing. A super twist. You punch through. You're making it. You're making it.
Oh my god.
You have
the
such
music I'm playing
thrust.
works so well here.
Such powerful thrust. Fire is, spraying in your heart, but also burning hard against the windshield in front of you. As it licks and laps at you. As flame shield integrity. Critical, below 20%. Flame shield integrity, below 20%.
I'm like, who fucked with my flame shield that I just installed? Shouting from the back.
And you guys are back here, and Stubborn
We
Giant,
needed the
you have your
additional
hands
lightness.
on the cryotube. It is beginning to shift backwards. With
Yeah.
one of the cables broken. You gotta do something to re-secure it. What do you do? What do you have? What do you go
Is
for?
there a handle I can grab? Is there like not a light?
Spider-Man
There's
is
like the
able
wall.
to
There's like the
pull
pipe handles
together.
of the wall you could grab.
Yeah. Do I like use like one hand to like hold the broken cable and the other one to hold the wall, and like try and keep this from sliding down? Can I do that?
Yeah, you can stabilize it. Give me an endurance with a modifier of -1.
Oh, -1. I guess it is a steep demand. Oh yeah, and I'm holding the cryo too. All right. He grabs. It worked.
You're holding. The person inside is alive, held there, sustained by you. The fluids you've given them, the
Oh,
holding.
shit.
Giving
Okay,
them.
so I want to go over and I guess use the bungee to secure the lost cord, thus sacrificing my use of it.
Yeah, you give up the bungee. You put it on there, and you are now just
Thank
in
you,
the ship
bungee.
as it ascends. It's real rough, and beep
Oh,
boop.
fuck.
You get a readout. It says, it's anticipated trajectory. Failure to escape orbit. Failure to escape orbit. Failure to escape atmosphere. Require additional thrust. Require additional thrust. As even all of the fuel and everything you've done is not going to be quite enough, as you're burning low and you're about to be out even though you're on course. There's no piloting failure here. But you
Like,
need just a
God
bit
damn
more
it.
thrust.
Alright, time to vid life support. War dancer person, do it.
Very well.
Like,
All
and
right.
I'm like, probably physically hold
Also-
on to be stubborn. Like, we are so fucked if.
Stubborn Giant. What if you throw the jump seats out the back of the ship?
Oh my god.
I think the jump seats are actually attached to the ship.
They're pretty well
Not
bolted into
that-
place.
Are they
believe
attached to the
Stubborn
ship?
They've
So
killed-
what do I
they've
roll
killed-
to fix this?
This is going to be a simultaneous mechanics for both Jin and Wanmar.
Unfortunately, there is no dance for venting oxygen.
Are you sure? I meant it.
Well, have a dance of synchronicity then.
Wanmar still manages to figure out a dance for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, with that final boost, you guys
Thank you. Jim.
begin trailing up through, and as the oxygen, as the life support is vented, coolant, atmospheric interior coolant, and other considerations are also losing power and function. And there's only a greater danger of heat in the front of the vehicle as Beep Boop and Wanmar, you begin to see things crack at the fringes, grow warm and miasma-like, and you feel the heat. Give me, Beep Boop and Wanmar, an endurance test. Beep Boop, you have a positive modifier of 2 because you're not that bad by the heat.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
go there.
Wanmar, killing it.
Wanmar
let's
does
get these
the coolant dance.
Wanmar gets the success.
No, this is just another aspect of the dance of stillness.
Oh.
Still
The dance
body,
of coolant.
still mind.
The dance of coolant.
Well, I guess molecularly, heat is motion. So what
Yeah,
coolant
that's
is stillness.
All right. And Beep Boop, let's see that endurance with a modifier of 2.
All
Good night,
right.
buddy.
Hey, good night, old buddy. Sorry, I haven't been looking at chat, so.
Hey, I actually passed.
Nice. Even though there's warm, like buckling, heating, popping all around you, you're going to be fine. But Beep Boop, the stabilizer button goes concave, pops, and gets a bit melty at the front console as you hear, and the whole vehicle begins to spiral in its final thrust moment. As Jin, you're not currently bungeed or connected to anything.
Okay, no, he was supposed to grab me when I did the mechanics thing.
Stubborn Giant
Yeah,
is
I
holding you.
grab her.
Okay. Okay, so you're being buddy held by Stubborn Giant. Stubborn Giant, you are holding on to. Okay, so how many arms do you have devoted to the wall, to Jin, and to the cryopod?
I have one arm dedicated to each.
Okay, but you have 2 front stronger arms and 2 smaller weaker arms. So what's getting the short shaft? Or do you have 2 one strong, 1 weak on the wall, and then 1 strong, 1 weak on Jin and the bungee?
Okay. So, on the instinct, I use the 2 strong on the bungee and the wall, because, that's our transport.
Okay, you double small.
So
to
the
hug.
cryo, I've just been holding it, under me.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Jen, you
old-
kind of got the only arm that's left at the moment. Which is the weaker arm.
All right, now what is your endurance?
My
Skill.
endurance is 5.
Okay.
Oh, you mean, sorry, endurance is 3.
Okay. You just straight up roll an endurance. Jin, roll a maneuver with a modifier of 3.
So if you say straight up, that means resilience plus endurance, right? So I just
Did you click the endurance button? Yeah.
Maneuver.
Just click the info.
Yay, 3!
Amazing.
Oh.
Amazing. Jin, however,
Wasn't in the Marines for nothing.
so unfortunately, Jin at just this moment,
Can I use an extra success to help her?
expecting the bungee. So you help her, but the level 1 shock still occurs. You hold
Okay.
her. You grasp her. However, she loses control of a vital thing in just this moment that she definitely has on her personage.
Oh shit, the battery. No.
No, I mean, the replacement battery's installed inside the thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the
And
spare
the-
repair part.
Okay.
And the spare repair
Oh.
part
Oh no, you should
flies
have used it on
down
me.
and begins to bounce very dangerously around this rear compartment, tinking into different like pipes and putting dents in them, some of which are leaking the gas that you're venting to give yourself the final boost. The rogue repair parts are dancing around madly, rattling. They must be contained.
Fuck.
This was not gonna look good on our insurance. Oh my god.
However, at the front, Beep Boop, that button that's gone concave, the electricals under it need to be salvaged yesterday to ensure that the stabilization falls through and you don't lose your one and only escape chance.
All right, so I have a plan. So I have one hand still jacked in, right? I'm gonna maneuver myself. So with that hand around there, I'm gonna kind of hand still plugged in, climb over the console, extend my body and reach for the button over there, and with my other hand, fix it.
Maneuver -3.
I mean, I can't unplug.
Can I help him maneuver that?
Yeah.
Seeing what he's trying
What's
to
your
do?
maneuver skill points?
I have 4.
Excuse me. Make a maneuver with a modifier of 1 as Wanmar teaches you the bending dance.
Go like this, and then you want to pull your legs.
I'm gonna spend my last processing on it.
Come on. Oh, that's the last
Straw.
one. Oh my goodness, it's the last one, chat.
How do I keep failing these massive rolls?
Come on.
There we go.
Holy
A super
shit.
fucking twist. Beep boop. You are the master of this room. You jack and you twist around. You reach.
I
out
do
your
like I do
arm,
like a cartwheel over into it. I'm just like.
And you pop the front, and it's an electrical problem. You can use systems or mechanics for this, but you need to just like begin to like fucking short fuses with your goddamn metal fingers at this point. What do
I
you do?
have a MOBA electrical tester and a multi.
The mobile electrical tester will help you. I'm gonna say you have it like mounted to your arm, and you like. So you gain the modifiers from that.
All right, and this will be systems or mechanics.
Either. Modifier of 1.
I'm
for
going to
mobile.
systems because I'm much better at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
God.
And with that, you're beginning to make it. You're beginning to make it, but you see that you are going to be barely punched out of the atmosphere and then rapidly degrade in orbit unless something can be done. You have the final bits of fuel switching out, but what's this? You're losing amounts of ding 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 ding. You're seeing internal damage to the tubing. Jin and Stubborn. The repair parts are gone rogue, punching little holes all about. They need to be secured
Oh, man.
as the vehicle twists around.
Jane, can I let you go fix that?
I mean, yeah, but what's your actual plan for doing so? Like,
What? I just let go of you, right?
no, but what's your plan for getting the repair parts? Like, I mean, it sounds like we can't just grab a single repair part. Like, there are multiples. Like, do we have a net or something? Like,
Wait, how's this work?
magnet?
Like,
You
is
have a
it
magnet?
just like a whole bunch of parts all over the place?
Can you use the sparking battery to create an electromagnet by coiling a wire?
Well, clearly
Yes,
James
you could.
is
Well, but does that occur to? It might occur to Jin. Jin's a very mechanically inclined individual. Jin, yeah, there's multiple parts, and if you were to coil a wire around the sparking battery, you can create an electromagnet to attract the bits.
okay, I mean, do I see a wire?
Clearly, my character's smart.
Yeah,
enough
I mean,
to be
there's
like,
one
hey,
in like a nearby cabinet, although you will need to maneuver to it and then down to there, and then risk touching the battery, and then attract what is functionally a bunch of shrapnel.
Which
towards it.
nearby cabinet? How
one.
near? Well, that's not very helpful because I was going to have him throw me at the battery. Okay, I know, I'm still gonna do it. Throw me at the battery, you go grab the wire in that cabinet, and then also throw that to me.
Wait, which cabinet? Just for like clarification, everybody, my character has 3 cognition. He's not the smart. Or they're not the smartest. Like ever.
That's just like
So-
average. You're a little less than average smartness. My character
So-
also has
No, I mean, 3 is
precognition.
average.
So to be fair, she did walk and try to block fire with her hands earlier. So
Yes.
Alright,
yes.
so-
So
I'm not sure that was a cognitive.
Stubborn's going to, I guess, throw Jin as commanded, and then
Give me a
Wire?
ballistics. Give me a ballistics to toss Jin.
oh no! Hey, I do have good ballistics, so you're in good hands until I fail.
Wow, a super twist. You fall with a cat's grace. But here's the thing. As that happens, Stubborn Giant moves his whole body, tosses you, and in a single fluid motion, sends the cryopod listing free of its mooring down to land at the rear of the vessel with you. Battery pressed up against the rear door.
Fuck! Oh
And
my god.
You both gain an edge and roll me one. No, wait. You both roll
Wait,
resolve.
the cryopod's in my strong arm. It should be the tube.
It's a level 2 shock. You lose control. It slides on the bungee.
Dang, I'm sorry, guys.
Jin's doing fine. No, give me
I'm
the
sorry, guys.
resolve, Stubborn. You throw Jin so well that she lands with the cat's grace. So
Yeah, no, I'm still sorry, guys. I used my strong arm on that capsule, and I still messed it up. But I resolved.
Stubborn, your resolve is so great that you scuttle, you crab walk Veer style across the cab and get to the cabinet without issue, and you find the wire in question. You throw
All
it.
right.
You give me one more ballistics to throw it down to Jin.
Dang, another ballistics. Let's go.
Ding, ding, ding. The
go.
repair parts are flying around.
Let's
Some of them are digging off the top of the cryopod.
By the edge.
It reaches you. Stubborn Giant falls, losing their grasp as the wire flaps down to Jin. Jin.
I have to be honest, guys. I've been holding a cryopod, all these items in place for a whole turn. I think I deserve to clap for a moment.
Please clap. The Jeb energy never stops. Please clap.
Please clap.
So, Jin, give me a melee. Yeah, okay. You catch it expertly, and you even manage to, with a twist, prevent the sparking battery next to you from getting quite up on you. You grab it. You've got some shitty bits, and you're gonna have to track some other shitty bits, and you're gonna have to do this in a way that you're having to time it for when the repair parts are over here, and not slamming into the cryopod when you attract it with the magnet.
Wow, now I really should have one more edge. I see the utility of the edge break in the situation.
Yeah.
See?
Give me a mechanics with a -2 modifier.
This is amazing. To think that descending and ascending could involve so many complications.
You wrap the wire up, it
outstanding.
creates the coil, it all flies to you, and you roll an endurance and then an armor because you've just attracted a shrapnel field to you as sparking electricity dance to your body.
You
This
just
is
literally
so cool. I love this.
but you saved the day.
Yes! Man, when Jin is put on the spot, Jin
You're
is putting it
terrified
together.
by this, but
Thank you.
tried.
Yeah, I'm in constant stressors, but it's a pretty good roll otherwise.
Oh, what the heck?
So 7 minus 5. You take
The
2
cruel
damage.
world. That's
I
not
mean, it's
fair.
honestly not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
you're
is
shocked a
true.
little bit though. So give me,
Sort of.
as the metal bits flying at you get electrified, roll me a resolve as you become suppressed.
God.
Help him being repressed. Magazine alarms.
God for resolve, apparently.
Managed to keep it
Yeah,
together.
holy smokes. What's
Deep
our
poop.
bot doing this
Deep
whole
Poop,
time?
up front, you are faced with a nigh impossible -6 operation test. However, I will point something out. You have the edge break ace.
Yeah, how do edge breaks work when you're a beep boop?
Look at overdrive. You take a 1d6 minus -1 synth wound to activate your edge break.
Well, I mean, I literally can't die from that, so that's good. Here's a question. One more question before we commit to this course of action. I have one more dumbass idea for how to add a little bit more thrust to this equation. This was a Human Empire dropship. Is there any chance they didn't all the way remove all the weapons? Could we spin this bad boy around and maybe try to shoot ourselves some extra thrust?
You know, they probably have an asteroid gun. Yeah, you could just empty... Somebody would need to roll ballistics to just, empty the chamber in the best way possible.
Could I do it? I'm pretty good at ballistics.
Yeah, sure. But to simultaneously fire and fly would be 2 big maneuvers as part of the
Never
same
mind.
action.
Hey,
No, if
Wanmar.
If you trigger ace, you can do it.
I trigger ace, I can do it. Fuck it, I'm triggering ace. I'm acing.
When
D6 minus 1.
You see, he's got the arm over. He's down here. Yeah. Just 6 minus 1.
He's like doing a handstand with his hands.
Hey!
Amazing.
Muscles.
For no damage
Wow.
whatsoever, you and break free as you coast into space. With all said and done, you have made it all the way out free into space. And drifting towards OP1, you get somebody over the line saying, "Shh, this is OP1. We see you coming in. We see who is this?
Roger, we are
Is
out
this a
of fuel.
remix?
We might want to,
I'm sorry.
rendezvous and intercept.
Shh,
We have
dispatching."
an emergency
Hold on, dude,
cryo patient aboard.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Emergency cryo patient aboard, desperately in need of
A tug shuttle.
human biological nonsense.
A tug shuttle is sent to bring you guys back and dock rapidly. Medical personnel are on hand to bring them to the appropriate rooms and hook them up in engineering to keep the cryopod alive. After some time, you all find yourselves at the terminal, and Administrator Bella Rosa is there, and she says, "Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, an honor to work with you today, and if I might say, it feels downright sponsored by Sparrows."
Wow.
I'd be honored to recommend you for service anywhere. You truly are the finest four.
I'm like, come on, guys, Victory Guardians of our house.
So,
All right.
does that mean
I shake her hand. I wait for the luxury credit transfer to process into my beep boop brain, and then once that happens, I'm like, everyone, let us sojourn to Sabaros and experience the wealth of our success in processed, probably cheese, as well as bread.
Already grabbing my slate, despite wincing at the bruises. Like, I'm gonna program you a specialty program so you too can experience Sabaros.
Amazing. This fucking pops out on a pizza party.
Agreed.
I can't even believe the strongest narrative element of the session has been a throwaway detail.
That's always how it is. Literally everything we ever do is built around dumbass throwaway details. Change stars. 90% of the lore started as a throwaway detail in some campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of hoping this doesn't make it into the lore despite the humor.
No. If this is not in the fucking lore, I'm withdrawing my pledge.
This is
I'll have to dodge some trademarks.
Yeah, but you know what? It's our bullshit, and we love it.
Sparrows with a P.
Yeah, Sparrows. Space bars. With several pizza pies before you, you feel a greasy fillingness that just strikes your body. For everybody, including Beat Boop with your new flavor sensors, give me a final endurance test.
Yo.
No, the real test of our endurance. Can we survive eating the Sabaros?
Yeah, after surviving the turbulence of space, surviving
some of the cheese actually falls down on my burns and it hurts a bit more.
Surviving
now that I have
forces that would certainly kill any normal human being. Here we go.
I would like to run one more scrutiny to try to figure out if there's any animal products in this cheese.
Yes.
Yes! It goes full circle!
Max, you just
my new experiences have opened me up to the truth of the cheese.
And this is why we bring Max along. He always thinks of the most important.
Now, Wanmar, I don't see your endurance. Is that because you're not eating the Sparrow?
No, Wanmar got a 2 on endurance and shot.
Yeah, all two of us got an edge.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. I'm itching my nose. So
I got 1 endurance and a level 1 shot.
I don't know
so
what happened
all
to
kind of panicked.
Shock, but I'm assuming my shock is just the burning hot cheese falling onto my many flame burns all over.
You eat it, it's delicious, you love it, the grease soaks into you, but then when you step up, you're like, oh shit, that's level 1 shock. Oh, fuck.
We were so close to never eating Sabaros again.
It was so good.
So close.
And Beep Boop, you look at it.
Never experiencing the heartburn.
You gaze into it, and you have a thought. You have a deep, deep thought. And it occurs to you that there is, there might be something to the idea that there is maybe some form of life in here. You see the pepperoni, right? Is a question of what's in it. But as you look and magnify down to a microscopic level, you think you see animal cells identifiable with Thuren grubs. That
awesome!
That have been flattened out and dyed red.
I'm here for it. All right.
Delicious.
I mean, I assume that's how pepperoni's supposed to work. The real reward, the real treasure of this mission, the real treasure was the Sabaros we got along the way.
Truer words have never been stated.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Indeed. So, I mean, that's the session. Thank you all for playing. We've ended well ahead of time after I abso-fucking-lutely juiced this concept as far as I could get it. Down
I
to
was
the
wondering if we would
Sparrows.
I was assuming we'd do more on the planet.
Yeah, I thought about it, but
You're like, get the fuck out of here.
I feel like half the session was maybe overly optimistic. I feel like you made a lot of that up. You just had a ship map and some ideas, which is fine. Like, I don't mind.
yeah.
Have
So-
ship will temporally travel.
Have ship will travel.
Yeah.
He's the sign of a man. All right, so we are here enjoying together a communion of tabletop role-playing games, and we've got fucking 40 minutes, so it's full feedback phase. I think I'm gonna read right to left as I see on the stream. Cole, hit me with it.
All right. So, for a stream where you're just completely milking the fuck out of riding a spaceship up and down, basically, it did come across as that. So I guess that would be the negative to start off. Like, it was clearly, obviously, really dragged out for going up or going down and then going back up. On the positive side, damn, did you think of everything? That was for milking it out. You really did find the most interesting. Well, for me at least, it was like, boy, we could have had previous campaigns where we were facing off against like dozens and dozens of soldiers, facing off against. I mean, hell, even when we were like playing Alien, we were like facing off against like dozens of xenomorphs. Or it was like, shit, we're about to fucking die. There was nothing scarier than just having a bunch of repair tools bounce around the freaking chamber. And you're like, oh shit, that's gonna break everything. And so the fact that you could make a pair of repair tools that fucking scary, I was really impressed. That every little detail, I kind of like that sort of thing, where you can kind of just back away from like the epic sagas and its giant space battles and massive political conflicts. It's just kind of like the mundane, like, hey, you're like going through massive like atmospheric shifts, right? And just about anything would probably fucking die. So how about you don't do that? And I like that as a premise. So yeah. What I like to see more of, okay, maybe not to the minute detail that you did here, but I do like the idea of having more challenges when entering an atmosphere. At least I do like seeing that. So it's not just a piloting role, but everybody else is involved. I like that. So, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's what I got. Yeah, for once I said it in less than 5 minutes, guys. So there we go.
Don't worry,
Bro.
I'll take like 40 minutes when I get there, so it'll be now.
All right, Max.
If you take 40, if there's 5 minutes into your feedback, I'm just gonna drive to your house and punch you in the face.
All right, Mr. Doorhinge.
All right. I enjoyed this session. I think it was about as good a session could be for a session that was effectively flying to a place then flying back. It was the best straightforward delivery mission that I have ever seen. Which is to say, I think it could have been better by being more than a straightforward delivery mission. But for what it was impressively good. I think in general, in the future, we need more Sabaros. And
wait,
I think
but
I went with
seriously,
a synth again.
seriously.
I enjoyed it. I know you originally kind of put synths into the system to appease me, and then I never played one for like a year. And now that I have, I'm like, I get it. I enjoy these. Just play these more.
Nice. So you like the unadulterated, non-variant synth where it's just like no edge, no fucking reaching, but you got the processing reach.
I think the processing is a great way of doing a similar thing but differently. I think the differences in how health works is also engaging and interesting. Yeah, I think they're sufficiently different from from a normal biological PC to make them interesting in their differences, but not so crazy different that it's like I'm playing a different game.
Nice.
It's not Shadowrun. I'm not fucking around in the cyber realm.
Very nice. All right. Yeah. I think that's it for you, right? Max?
Yeah, that's it for me.
James.
You can move right along.
So I partly agree with Max. I do think that this is about as good as a straightforward just deliver something and then get another delivery and head back mission can get. I really liked how we were clearly a party of just people who happened to be or were in the area volunteering. We definitely, like, other than Max's synth, we didn't have any like special connection or skills relevant necessarily to this particular drop. I thought it was really fun to have a game with a Veer and a fighter-y character without any combat. I really liked playing that. But
I would agree.
I was expecting something more to happen on the ground than just, here is our delivery. Oh dear, here is your delivery back up there. It felt like there was a setup with all of this stuff building, and then the payoff was not what.
I considered having somebody come out and like try and like hijack the shuttle, but like for a purpose of like getting someone off the world.
I honestly thought someone was hiding in the cryopod and they would come out and try to hijack the ship.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like something could have happened to the planet.
The players all
to the
invented
cryopod.
better, more engaging plots than me, is basically what happened. And then I didn't fulfill any of it.
I have to be honestly, I think I liked yours more, because if that player tried to hijack the ship, I think they would have ended up in a lot of stabs.
Like that's not the
and a
most
lot of
interesting
bullets.
thing to happen. That was just what I thought the like natural thing would be. But that was just
Good job on subverting your
as
own
far as-
expectations, Lee. I like
As
it.
far as what I want to see more of, I really liked this simple, just a group of people not super suited to doing something, having to do something, or actually not having to, but volunteering to do something that needs to be done.
I want to do in the vein of those like fucking space movies like Apocalypse, where it's like, here's some random people like an oil rig worker and the other guy who's gotta go with an accountant to space to drill into the asteroid to save the world.
That's always fun when you're not like completely suited, so you're trying to find ways to sort of figure out how your specialties might work in. And also, I'm definitely planning on playing Wanmar more times, because Wanmar is just a fun character.
Absolutely,
I wouldn't be surprised if Beat Boot makes a reappearance as well in the right circumstance.
She has many dances to share with us. What's something you want to see more of?
Those were what I want to see more of. More not suited and more playing Wanmar.
All right.
I want to see more apocalypse-like scenarios.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I think we ride over to Madeline.
Okay. I thought it was well executed and fun. Like, I guess you made a lot out of small things, but so then, like, my criticism kind of rolls into what I want to see more of. So for me, like, yes, you could have done something more at a bunch of different points, but I think for what this is, like, the problem was that we couldn't really do that much into thinking of solutions beyond like rolling, because we didn't know that much. So I think that you could run a more interesting version of something like this, which would be kind of cool if we had more information about the ship up front, so that we could like actually kind of decide our own solutions to things, as opposed to you offering us like 2 options or something. Like, that was helpful in the moment, but I think there could be a cooler version of this where we have to do more planning and like with the, where do you divert ship power stuff, but like having us be able to make those decisions on a more strategic level because we actually know how the ship works would be interesting, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that that's something that the room system that's in the game could develop to handle and make space engagements that aren't fights still interesting. So I'll absolutely keep an eye on that.
Like when Max was like, "This is a human human Empire ship. Is there a gun on it that we can use to help propel us?" That was a really fun thing.
Yeah. All right, and that's your feedback.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool to see more kind of things that aren't just combat.
Well, if I had to put a flavor on that, I'd call it berry ice. I think that we are gonna go ahead and raid Praetor's Rejects. And thank you all for coming out tonight and helping make these things possible on the Change Stars Kickstarter. I am going to briefly update us all here on the stream. Oh, fuck you, Google. Fucking shit. Briefly update us all here on the stream. Yeah, that's right. We are looking at 10,233 with 211 backers. Thank you all for coming out. 13 days to go with the exciting campaign. Water the Lee. I'm going to take a sip. And then pump the raid. And yeah, remember, Dreamers, we're going to go share the experience with our friends over at Praetor's Rejects. And keep on dreaming, Dreamers, because I can tell you that I will be...
Something about the way you phrased that made me think
Remember,
you were going to end
there's no dance preventing oxygen.
Right.
I'm hitting raid